Hey, what's up? Thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, I get a big Spidey geek boner.
Geek boner.
As we break down the first trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home and discuss trailers from John Wick 3 and Season 8 of Game of Thrones, we got a lot of rumors regarding the new MCU shows for the Disney Plus app and quickie reviews for Bumblebee and the DC animated Reign of Superman movie. Plus, Aquaman makes $1 billion, a new Ghostbusters movie's on the way, and we've even got some Jock and Nerd fan fiction.
Geekerific!
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, January 17th, 2019.
All right, let's light this shit up.
Spark it up.
Check. Check one. All right. This is really fans out there. Let's give it up.
We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. We jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah! We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah! We jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert.
Yeah, boy, what's up, listener? Thanks for tuning in this week. And welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero TV and movie news reviews and whatever we choose.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
And that fashion-forward, frothy, fornicating felty in the corner, well, that's really Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
What's up, dickwad?
What's up, Dick? How you doing?
Oh, shit.
Great call out.
That was
already.
that was my most cutting bully comment that I could make.
Flash stole your best line.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What can I say that'll really intimidate someone that I'm bullying?
Dickwad still hurts, man.
Dickwad.
So that's rough.
Yeah, sure.
That's a rough one. Rugs, how's your slack hole these days?
Slack hole's tightening up a little bit.
Oh, no. Is that from
Yeah, it's the weather.
the weather? Yes.
Might be snow coming in, Imran.
Yes, there's
Oh,
a
yeah,
storm.
there's a storm.
There's a storm brewing. Rugs, get your,
Yeah, whenever there's a snowstorm,
Yeah.
my slack hole tightens up.
you know, you got to spray yourself with some of that lock de-icer they use on cars.
Yeah.
I think that'll help.
It makes it very difficult to speak when my slack hole is very tight.
If you're a new listener, thanks for joining us. Check out our show notes for this episode on our lovely website. Just visit jockandnerd.com/257 for links to everything we're going to talk about, how to get in touch with the show, how to subscribe, where to find the show, all the wonderful things. And fellas, let's stop pussy dicking around because we got Spider-Man to talk about.
The Jock and Nerd podcast. Geek boner.
Oh my God. The Spidey love just keeps coming in 2019. The first trailer, Spider-Man Far From Home, released earlier this week. Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I
Geek
can't
boner.
play the geek boner enough. And boy, do I have thoughts, as I did with the Homecoming trailer. And they actually released a domestic and international trailer, slightly different. Some different footage, different music cues, cut a little bit differently.
Why so many trailers? Like, why is there an extended trailer?
Well, the extended is just the domestic and international, like, put together in one one thing.
I never seen the international.
If you click that link in the show notes, listener, you can also follow along. It'll play the domestic one, and then it plays the international one. We'll talk about a little bit of the differences.
But, like, why didn't they put the footage in the regular one and then just...
It's clearly
makes sense.
there because
Why
what
are they- Yeah.
look, once we talk about the differences, you see how their marketing is different for international and domestic audiences.
But don't you think the American audience would have liked to see what was in the international trailer?
Yeah, because there's some telling stuff. Not only that, there's like Easter eggs all over. There's more Easter eggs in this than in like the whole movie of Homecoming. This is crazy, but you got to think this is deliberate, you know, on Marvel's part. This is also the first post-Endgame movie. Is this the beginning of phase 4? I guess, right? We'll find out.
Yeah.
Before we'll get nitpicky, let's talk about what did we like about the trailer. I thought it was
Why don't we just talk about the
a
trailer?
lot of fun. Let's talk about the trailer.
Why do we need to split it up in what we like?
It's
and
not
don't
a
like?
movie.
I
yeah.
don't know. It's not a movie. All right. Well, you look. I'm going to start with something that fucking bugs me right away then, motherfuckers. And it's in the beginning. The whole fact that Aunt May knows Peter Parker. It's already Spider-Man. This is quite the departure. This is a whole other fucking ballgame. I don't know what this is anymore. Does this bother anybody else?
It always bothered me.
It doesn't really. I mean, it's a departure, but it sets off right off the bat like this isn't the Spider-Man that you.
No, everybody
grew up
fucking knows who Peter Parker is Spider-Man in this universe. Apparently,
Yeah, this is a
12
different
people.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, everyone knows.
And it's driving home that fact right away. This is different.
This is different.
Either get with it or get over it.
Yes, move on, you old bastard, or get on the program. It's definitely the fun, likable teen European adventure. Rugs comment.
I think that, Marvel has to carve out its own Spider-Man, and that's fine. But I think there's always going to be a yearning for what is the essential Spider-Man, and I think one day they will go back to it, and I'll be there for that. So.
Maybe it's working up to it.
No.
Well, no, you can't work up to
No,
it. The cat's already out of the bag unless you do like some time travel thing.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, the Aunt May.
They're going,
Yeah.
because
This is the version they're running with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at some point they're going to have to reset.
Right.
It could happen.
That's what Rogers is saying.
After Endgame, some kind of
I'll
reset.
be like fucking one foot in the grave, but
20 years from now.
It was 20 years? Yeah, you'll be fine.
Look,
Well, maybe you might be dead.
We've had 3 Spider-Men.
I should be dead now.
You should be. I don't know what's keeping.
Oh, shit.
What's keeping you alive?
Yeah,
It's keeping you alive.
I know. I'm not. Let's move on.
Romanian gypsy curse. Yes. Look, Aunt May still hot. A little flirty with Happy. I thought that was kind of fun, and Peter's reaction was kind of cute. I love the music. The Ramones into the orchestral Spidey theme.
That's my favorite part about it. Is the Spidey theme
That it's like
that
so
gives
big.
me the feels.
Yeah.
When I hear that, I'm willing to look past a lot of this stuff. I'm like, well, at least they gave me the theme song. At least they gave me the theme song I grew up with.
Yeah, exactly.
And they did something with it. Like a lot of people like shit on these theme songs and go like, no, there's something to that one. And like if you use it correctly in certain spots, it can be great. And they did use it.
That's interesting because even in the Raimi movies, he would have the theme song as a joke in the movies.
Yeah.
And it was never in the score by Danny Elfman, which I really didn't find very memorable to begin with, even though I love Danny Elfman. This is like the score. This is a whole orchestra playing the 60s Spidey.
It feels more uplifting.
Yeah.
Than the Raimi one, which is more creepy.
Yes.
And a little bit more like Batman-y, like with it's chugging along. It's like
He's Elfman is dark. He's got dark tones. Anthony, what'd you think of the Nick Fury reveal? Fucking Nick Fury's in this movie, and apparently they've never met.
Why don't I just tell you what I thought of the trailer and then I can get to the Nick Fury?
Okay,
reveal?
dude.
Yeah, let Anthony
you know what?
talk.
Do that
What is
thing.
this? Why are we structuring this like it's a movie review?
I don't know because there's so much. There is a lot in here that I almost feel like I saw the whole movie.
Overall, I liked it. I liked the entire trailer. It is different. I mean, right off the bat, you mentioned Aunt May. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I forgot that it even happened. I was
Right.
like, oh, wow, we're really departing away from the comics here. But overall, I liked it. I mean, I enjoyed the first Spider-Man Homecoming. I didn't enjoy it as much as everyone did online. I was, whelmed by it. I wasn't like, this is awesome, but I wasn't pissed off either.
Right.
So this trailer, I mean, it looks like it's more the same. They're playing up. I kind of appreciate the feminist Mary Jane. That's
That was
not
a great
really
joke.
a feminist.
It was a pretty good joke. Where she's like,
so I'm pretty, so now I have value.
He's like, no.
No. I'm just kidding.
Perfectly in step with the times.
Right. I enjoy the little jab there.
Yeah.
Overall, I like the trailer. I wasn't like, this is amazing, but I did like this. If I had to compare this to like the first Captain Marvel trailer, I liked this better.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff online with people speculating like, what the hell's going on with Mysterio? And I think I figured out right away that he's just creating illusions.
The whole thing is a swerve. Yeah.
It's all swerve so that he's like the hero, but then you'll find out he's not. And then as far as your question about Nick Fury, I mean, I forgot who brought this up. It might have been in one of the chats I'm in, but someone did bring up, wouldn't his spider sense have figured out that Nick Fury
I read
was
that
there?
also, but my answer was he's not a danger.
Yeah, he's not a danger. I don't know. I wasn't expecting the Nick Fury cameo at all. I didn't see any casting stuff with Samuel L. Jackson.
Maria
so
Hill's
that
in it
was,
too for a second. The back of her, you see.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Overall, I like the trailer. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I can play this new clip then.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's really good.
Got
I
that
didn't, think it
view?
was, I didn't think it was fucking awesome.
Well,
that's the wrong time
that's
to play.
your words.
That's not what I didn't say.
That
it for
wasn't the
this
clip,
trailer.
listener. He
No.
thinks it's fucking awesome. I hardly endorse this.
Now,
yeah.
is Gwen Stacy in that? Is that the blonde
No,
girl with the
that's
thing in her
that's
head?
Betty Brant, I think.
Betty Brant.
Yeah.
Oh,
She was,
really?
she was in the first one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I haven't really watched Homecoming more than like 1.5 times.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't sit through it a second time.
She was in the first one. It's an okay movie. Okay, wait. I have so many questions. If Fury and Peter have never met, does that mean that they never meet in an end game? Does that mean shit gets reset and they never meet in end game? Is that a possibility? You would think they would meet in the next Avengers movie. That's all.
Right.
Who knows? But you don't know the
But
story.
he's
of that.
dead in the next Avengers.
Well,
movie.
they're both
Yeah, and
dead.
he's dead. They're both dead, and one was dead on Titan, the other is dead on Earth.
Yeah, but we know. Look, everyone's like, "Oh, this is like completely killing the buzz for this Endgame." Come on, you really think they're gonna leave half of humanity dead in the end of the fucking Avengers movie? Everyone's coming back, mostly everyone. So regarding the villains, that in the description they say he's fighting the elementals.
The elementals.
I think Mysterio. I think Gyllenhaal looks great in the costume. He's got the square gauntlets, Rugs. What do you think? It's comics Eric accurate. He's got the fucking fishbowl.
Geek boner.
I think he looked fine. He's green. That's all I really cared. Green and purple cape. And then that's close enough for me. Mysterio is kind of a goofy character. He's got basically he's like nude.
Yeah.
With a fishbowl on his head and a big cape.
And a big cape.
So anything that's an improvement on that is cool with me. I don't know if it's cool that we see his face, but like I think when you're doing a villain, hiding the face and being mysterious is cool. But like when you're trying to portray a hero,
this
maybe
is
having the face is good.
Very different.
But I don't know. I still think they shouldn't have showed his face. I still think they should have just been a fishbowl.
It's interesting because the plot also seems to take a lot of inspiration from Mysterio's very first appearance in Spider-Man, like 13 or something, where he is, it's Quentin Beck, a special effects guy who sets up this elaborate thing to become the hero to make himself look better. The reason it works in that context is that Spider-Man, the public hates that Spider-Man, and it's a big part of that story. This is one of the things we're missing from this Spider-Man.
Yes.
Of course, you see that he's celebrated. He's like, yay, Spider-Man. He's a big fucking star. Completely different from the 616 Spidey I grew up with and love. So that's why that Mysterio works, but I think this may be very similar. He's setting this up, and it backfires. Now, are these elementals, or is this Hydro Man, Molten Man, and the Sandman?
Oh,
what do you think,
No,
Russ?
I think it's he created them. They're some kind of androids or something some kind of technology he's using, because from the first, you got to always connect the dots like Pee Wee Herman does.
Yeah.
And you gotta like Michael Keaton, the Vulture, was selling black market fucking alien technology,
yes,
and he may have some of that shit.
Absolutely, he may have some of this.
And he may be able to create all kinds of crazy shit that was not possible before.
So check out these deliberate Easter eggs that I think they put in there to make us think that this is Sandman, Sandman, Hydro Man, and Molten Man. During the clip where it looks like Sandman, the license plate on the car, the beginning numbers are 463. Could be a nod to Sandman's first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man number 4, 1963. All right. Molten Man debuted in 1965, Amazing Spider-Man number 28. When they're running on the bridge, another car has license
Is this the
plate.
American trailer or the international trailer?
This is in both trailers. So the second half is the same. I'll get to the differences because that's interesting. There's a license plate that says 2865 September, which is the Molten Man cue. And then when they're on the boat in Venice, behind Ned Leeds or Ned or Genki, whatever the fuck is, when they're taking a picture, it says ASM 212. And that is Amazing Spider-Man 212 is an issue of first appearance of Hydro Man. So they want us to think that it's these people. It could be their retcon fucking version, maybe setting up the Sinister Six. That could be kind of cool.
I think it's all the illusion.
None of it is real.
I think if it is them, it takes away from Mysterio's like abilities.
Yeah.
Because then he's just a dude who gets other dudes to like work with him in pranking the universe, which is okay. That's fine. But
I mean,
I think it makes him more cool if he was behind this whole thing himself.
And is this Mysterio going to be a special effects guy, or is he like an actual magic spellcaster like Doctor Strange? Looks a little bit like the Doctor Strange magic. So
I want to hear what does Ruggs think of the trailer, because you're dancing around all this. What does
Who, me?
Ruggs think? No, not Ruggs. Imran's asking all these stupid questions.
Yeah.
I just want to hear what Ruggs thinks of the trailer.
Well, I mean, I think it's an opportunity for a fun time. It sounds like it's fun. He's going to Venice and all these great European sites, and it's romantic. He's hitting on Mary Jane for the first time, and they're getting together, and he's got this adventure that's happening with S.H.I.E.L.D., and Nick Fury's giving him a stealth suit. So there's a lot of like cool things, I guess, going on. It's going to be a fun movie, I could tell, but I have baggage, obviously, when it comes to like being a stickler for the character. They've changed him so much. It's just shocking to me how much they've changed him. And so and not only him, like everything about him, everything is just in name only. So like, that's never going to go away. Like, and to the people who tell me it doesn't matter, I'm like, things do matter to me. The essence of something does mean something to me. So when I see something the only thing that really is the same is that Spider-Man is doing Spider-Man things.
Spider-Man-y things. No, you're right.
Yes.
That extends to the supporting cast, too, I think.
So it's not like I think this movie's going to suck. I think the people who want to see it and don't give a shit are going to love it. And I might enjoy myself in the moment watching it. But when I look back on it and go, do I want to support this kind of changes to every character? Do I want to get behind this movie because it's, in a lot of ways, it's supporting something that I hate, like when it's done to characters. So I'm at a conflicted way. I'm not excited about it, but I look like, hey, it looks like it's going to be interesting.
That's kind of how you came out of Homecoming, because I remember that when we did our review, you were like, this is a solid movie. And then as time wore on, you started to think about it, and you were like, I don't like that at all.
this is a different version of my beloved character.
Well, now, this is the thing. When people say it doesn't matter and it doesn't affect anything, and why it doesn't erase your childhood, it is effectively doing that, because everybody who's seeing these movies, millions more people are now thinking that this is the
correct.
This is the version.
This is the definitive version. Whenever something is released in the most popular form of media,
it becomes the definitive version.
It becomes the definitive version.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I take umbrage with that. I feel attacked.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
I was talking about this yesterday about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
All right. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes out. It's a comic. It's very dark. It's an independent comic. It doesn't have any of these things that they add to it to make the cartoon.
There's no pizza eating. There's no colored, bandanas.
Yeah.
But then
I feel like
this kiddie
Ninja Turtles couldn't be a mainstream success
unless it was a kiddie cartoon.
Unless they did that.
Yeah.
Unless they did that.
Yep.
Unless they.
Yep.
So it was like Ninja Turtles would never have happened.
Correct.
But the fact that those guys knew Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and people would get it. That's genius.
But, at some point...
Can I speak real quick on that? Because as a kid, all I knew was
the cartoon,
the colored bandanas and the pizza.
Yeah.
And that is what hooked me as a kid.
Exactly.
So it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I appreciate that it actually was darker in the beginning, but it wouldn't have hooked me as a dark with black bandanas. That wouldn't have hooked me as a kid.
The fact that they eat pizza doesn't change who they are as characters. The fact that they have colored bandanas doesn't change who they are.
What does Cowabunga do?
That's also different.
That kind of changes it, right?
that does.
Yeah.
To a degree.
I mean, you got to imagine at one point, Eastman and Laird are sitting there and they're like, you know what? We're going to have to fucking water this down. It's going to be huge.
Right.
Conflicted. That's a tough choice as a creator.
But this is the difference. Spider-Man has thrived, endured for 60-something years.
The version we know.
It has become popular all of its own volition without having to be changed.
Correct.
So there's no reason to change it. It's unnecessary. So that's what I was saying about Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles needed to be changed to be mainstream.
Yeah.
Spider-Man did not. This is just changes that are arbitrary.
I will agree with that.
I think what they're doing, and you touched on it already, but they're trying to create their own version, and they're also really thinking hard about, like, okay, what does this modern Spider-Man look in this time?
Yeah.
And this is the version they've come up with.
And it's cobbled together
with a non-bully Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
A smart bully or whatever he is. A feminist playing MJ that isn't really MJ.
Yeah.
and then a bunch of other characters. A best Asian friend.
Best Asian friend. Everyone's likable
Genki.
and
That's how
cute.
he's not Genki.
I love that "What's up, Dickwad" line. That was hilarious.
That's the thing. They've done everything they can to pretty him up. They've done everything else to make him appealing and non-threatening. And there's no bumps or scars on this guy.
Yeah.
They've downplayed all of his foibles. They've downplayed, his fact that he's a reject or any of that stuff. It's all like
any darkness is like
because nobody wants to go to the movies and have to feel bad about anything.
So look, I will say a couple of things. Overall, it looks fun. I feel like it already looks better than Homecoming. What do you guys think?
I hope it's better.
Yeah, I feel like
because Homecoming he was relying on that Tony Stark tech way too much, and that ruined it for me too.
Now he's got Nick Fury tech though, so it's gonna have Shield tech to help him.
So it's like I don't think we're ever gonna get to that dude who I think Spider-Man should use technology, but I don't think it should be such a part of him.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like he's another character.
It becomes a crutch. Anthony, you don't think it looks better than Homecoming just from this trailer?
I'm holding my judgment.
Okay.
I mean, I enjoyed Homecoming. If I would rank Homecoming along with all the other Marvel films, it would be towards the bottom for sure, just for me. But we'll see. I don't know.
What about it don't you like, Anthony?
Homecoming?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like that his motivation was.
I remember you said that he was very selfish.
Yeah.
In how he wants to be part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
it wasn't
part of the Avengers.
I wanted there to be like the second. I wanted there to be. I didn't need to see an Uncle Ben moment, but I needed there to be. I needed him to carry that weight, on his shoulders.
Yeah, some kind of connection. And I don't think him and Tony thing was really strong enough.
I didn't think the Tony. I mean, I liked the Tony thing, and don't get me wrong, I think it's a natural evolution for that character. But I wanted to see some more weight on his shoulders.
Absolutely, but that's what we just said.
Ben.
It's all lighthearted. But here's the other thing: after Endgame, I think this will be a great palate cleanser, lighthearted fucking adventure romp in Europe, and it will be needed after who knows how heavy Endgame is, and what happens, what's reset, who knows who. So the international trailer, here's some interesting differences. The first half of the trailer is different. There's no Ramones. They don't put the Ramones in there. They just have like a generic score. But it starts with Peter walking through the airport, going through customs, and they open the bag, and his spider suit is sitting there, and there's a note from May saying, "You forgot to pack this, May." The lady's looking at it, and then she picks up a banana. She's like, "You can't bring this in." And he goes, "No banana. Got it." And it's
don't you think that they'd be like, "Oh, that's Spider-Man's suit"?
Yeah, so how many fucking people know that he's Spider-Man? This is my point. Everybody
it's
fucking
on
knows.
film at an airport.
Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. But there's more of Peter and his friends hanging out in the beginning. Second half of the trailer is the same. Here's a really interesting difference. The tag. Flash says, "What's up, dickwad?" in the domestic. In the international, he says, "What's up, loser?" And I don't know why. I guess dickwad doesn't translate to international.
Yeah, I don't know if
audiences.
dickwad translates.
They wouldn't get the joke as much. So it cuts away and they do ADR where he goes, "Sup, loser?" I was like, huh, that's weird. A year ago, Kevin Feige did confirm that Far From Home will take place after Avengers Endgame, possibly minutes after Avengers Endgame. So whether time is reset, I saw another theory where maybe he's still on that bus. None of that shit Infinity War happens, and now the bus is going to Europe on a thing. And
going to the airport.
And that thus, nobody's met anyone. Nobody remembers that this has happened.
Yeah.
Because this world doesn't seem like a world where something crazy happened to people a little bit. Right?
Who knows? I mean, it's tough to tell in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me add one more thing, though, that I do like about this Spider-Man is out of all the Marvel films, this is the only one, and it seems like they're continuing that theme. And I'm not in high school, but it feels like a high school film. The characters like Zendaya and whoever plays the Ned Leeds' son. What's his name?
Genki or Ned.
Genki.
Ned.
Not
Ned. His name is Ned. Yeah, I don't know if it's Ned Leeds, but Ned. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they all feel like they're young. They feel like they don't feel like 28-year-olds.
Tobey Maguire,
yeah, they don't feel
30-year-old playing.
30-year-olds playing.
Yeah.
Not it doesn't feel like a CW show.
It's authentic. Yeah. Which is
nice.
I give it credit for that. That's actually good. That's the one thing I really like about it.
It has a youthful energy, absolutely.
And when we're talking about Zendaya, I mean, after seeing her in a couple of other films,
Greatest Showman,
she's so stunning.
Yeah.
and they're really not like. When are they going to whip out Mary Jane? When are they going to whip out like?
But it's not her.
Yeah.
It's just MJ,
Yeah.
but it's not Mary Jane.
It's her initials are MJ, but
Her name is Michelle. This is not MJ.
Yeah.
Just like the Ned is Genki, but he's not Genki. He's
Yeah.
Ned. Flash.
I'll
whatever.
say this. I wish they would have just either made her Mary Jane or just made her Michelle.
Right.
I don't like
They're dicking around.
I don't like the foot in both sides
Yes.
of the border.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a little.
if they were going to make her Mary Jane, like, let's do it. She's
Let's
a
make her
model.
Mary Jane.
And if
she's a
she's
party
not,
girl.
if you're introducing someone new, that's fine. Just commit to that.
Because right now she's MJ in name only, and then acts like someone completely different, which is kind of weird.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. You say I want to talk about the secondary characters in this franchise a little bit because a lot of them are just in name only. Did you? Yeah, go ahead.
That Ned Leeds guy. What's his name?
See, that's
Let me
the
look it
thing.
up.
Let's hear.
Let
I
me
think
look
I
it
have it here. It's just Ned. Is he given a last name?
And there's no Harry in this either.
Yeah, where? So that's another thing I'm bringing up right about now.
Here, wait, let me look it up. So, what the fuck is his name?
Jacob Batalon.
but what's his
It
character?
just says Ned.
Because there was a lot of stuff on the internet that he was Ned Leeds.
So in IMDb, it just says Ned. Betty,
Yeah, it is
the
right.
girl,
It is just Ned.
the girl playing Betty Brant, it just says Betty, but then it does say Flash Thompson. Also, let's not forget JB Smoove. JB Smoove is in this movie, some capacity. Also, Michael Keaton.
DJ Jonah Jameson.
Maybe Michael Keaton's also listed in the cast for this movie. So Zendaya's name is Michelle Jones, which gives you the MJ, but it's not MJ.
Yeah, that's where I was going with the Ned thing was if he's Ned Leeds,
Yeah.
that means he's Hobgoblin.
Yes. And they're going to jump
Which
to
is a real
Hobgoblin
crazy
before
departure.
before any Osborns. Also, did you notice the Avengers Tower is being renovated? Lots of speculation. Who's bought the tower? Is it an Oscorp buy? Is it the Baxter building? Is this how they're going to bring in the Fantastic Four? Oh, is it S.H.I.E.L.D.? Why is it being renovated? Was it destroyed in Endgame? Lots of good questions. July 5th, 2019. These questions will be answered. Now, I have two really interesting articles. The first one, I want to ask you guys if you agree with some of these things, Rugs, especially you. Comicbookmovie.com, 10 things Marvel still needs to do to make Tom Holland's Peter Parker the most spectacular Spider-Man to date. And these are a lot of the things we've been thinking of. Okay, let me know if you agree with any of these. Starting with introduce the Daily Bugle. I think that's a step into bringing this Tom Holland Spider-Man closer to the one we love.
I mean, he's got to have some kind of adversity. Somebody hates him. Like you can't everybody like be loving him.
Right. Everybody
That's not
can't.
Spider-Man.
Right. The beauty of the early Spider-Man was J. Jonah Jameson demonized him in the public. Everyone
dickwad.
hated him. What's up, dickwad?
And he thumbs up it. He doesn't even like get offended. He's like, yay. There he is. My old buddy Flash.
He's just like, yep, yeah.
Putting up some nice zingers.
Penis Parker. I mean, that was kind of funny. All right.
Yeah.
Assemble the Sinister Six. I feel like they're eventually going to try to get to that maybe in the next movie.
That's fine. That'll be. Is it going to make it better that the Sinister Six?
Nah,
Sinister
it's just
Six
more
in there?
authentic. I love this next one. Let Peter Parker grow up. How many years of him in these movies are we going to have him in high school?
It doesn't bother me that he's in high school.
Yeah.
I think it makes an interesting habitat for things to happen.
We do need to see growth of a character, though.
I like the high school thing. I don't want to see it forever, but
Right.
I do like the high school thing as well.
The payoff to see him as adult would be great.
My only concern is that these characters start to look like they're not in high school before they
they
get
got
them
to
out of high
grow
school.
with. They got to grow with the characters
Yeah.
and the actors that are playing with. them.
Right.
Bring in the Osborns is another note they have.
I just said that. Yeah.
I think it's very important in
I think
Spider-Man's
that
lore.
definitely has to happen.
Yeah. Shed some light on the origin story. Are we ever going to get the Uncle Ben moment? The actual Uncle Ben moment? Are we ever going to find out? Are we ever going to see this origin? I think that's very interesting.
I would like there to be something about it. The thing is for me, we're already too late.
Right?
I would have he's not carrying that pain.
It's kind of pointless to even do it now, and then all of a sudden he's mopey.
They got to do it like the original comic where the dude like intrudes on the house and kills him at the house.
Yeah.
And that's why they had to move to that apartment.
Oh, because they couldn't live there. And I would love to hear
Yes.
the great power line, maybe. I know it's a
of
trope,
course.
but let's hear it. The next one, I wholeheartedly agree. Properly portray his spider sense. We've really had no good
Well, you've
spider
seen
sense
it.
use. Really?
You've seen it. Yeah. There's been... so
With the
in
goosebumpy hair thing?
There's that. And then even in Civil War, Bucky throws like something at him, like a door.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. And he hears it. He hears that it's coming and dodges it before it even hits him.
I'd like a little more visual representation.
The Russos are actually better at showing it than
than
Whatever
John Watts.
yeah.
Who's coming back. Don't rely too much on cameos. Another one. Yes, please. Can we have a movie where there isn't a fucking another guy from the MCU helping him out?
Well, the reason they're doing that is because they portrayed this Spider-Man from the get-go as someone that wants to be in Avengers.
Yeah, he's very eager to be part of the
He wants to be
team.
that's his motivation.
So this is like, I mean, it's
It's
ultimate.
not an Uncle Ben thing. He wants to be a hero. He wants to be the Avengers.
This is the ultimate Spider-Man version motivation.
Right.
Also,
He wants to film himself as he goes to these Avengers. Make a vlog about
the
it.
last thing is show off his smarts. Are we ever going to see how smart?
I would
he
like to see
actually
how
is?
smart he is. They've only hinted at it very briefly in Civil
He's
War.
not building
The
web
kind-
shooters or nothing.
The kind of smarts that he has is using movies that he's watched.
Yes, that's it. Remember that old movie?
That's true.
so terrible.
He is a pop culture enthusiast.
Remember that old movie with that big shark and then they electrocuted him? I got an idea.
The only time they've alluded to it again is with the Russos. They had him built when you get an introduction. He has like the pizza thing. It's like a math equation T-shirt.
Oh yes, and he
then
wears
he's-
that
and then
T-shirt again. Yeah,
And then he's building a computer in the
yeah,
background.
barely. Yeah, but that's just so.
He's building his own computer based on spare parts.
It's so.
But not in the
surface.
Watts version.
Yeah.
You don't get. The
Yeah.
only thing that you know is that he's in a magnet school, right?
He's he's
Yeah.
in a smarty school, but everybody's smart there. So
But
like,
everyone's
you don't
smart
even
there.
know.
So he's not any different.
Again,
It's
Russo's
so bad.
Yeah,
giving us the
that's true.
best version
It's just terrible.
of these characters. Okay, last bit I wanted to discuss this article from Medium I just saw today. It's pretty good. I want to know if you guys agree. It's from Cameron Carpenter. It's called Spider-Man and the Secondary Character Interiority. The guy talks about writing secondary characters and what they should do. Ultimately, supporting characters should meet these two requirements: support or challenge the thesis of the protagonist in some way, or two, seem as though they exist in their own distinctive narratives when they aren't on screen. So he makes the argument that in the Raimi movies, they do this great. But in Homecoming,
Okay.
these characters aren't doing anything if they're not on the screen. They're, like we just said many times, they're just in name only. Let me just read a little bit of his argument here. He says, there is no non-villainous secondary character with a life happening off screen. No matter how well acted, characters like Ned, MJ, Flash, Liz, or Aunt May don't seem to have anything happening to them except for when they are on screen. And when they are on screen, they're simply interacting with Peter to paint his world to be that of a typical teenager. It's a great article. You guys should read it. But
They're just decorations.
do you agree, or does he have selective memory, this guy? I like this guy's point here.
I don't know. I haven't watched Homecoming enough. I just know that what I've seen of these characters, they don't feel as strong, anywhere near as strong as they should be. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what this movie's going to do. I don't know. We'll see.
Anthony, just like you said, none of these characters have any kind of struggle or strife or anything to overcome. They're just kind of present.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that this this is kind of, but there's a lot of movies that like this where the characters kind of just all revolve around the main character.
Yeah.
So that this criticism, although valid, it can be made for a lot of movies that are still pretty good. And I would argue too that his love interest in the first one,
Yeah.
what was her name?
That was Laura Harrier was playing
Yeah.
Liz Allen.
Liz Allen.
Liz Allen. That was the one
I mean,
character.
she,
yes.
she was affected. She got a rich house. She got a house, like, an awesome life because of Vulture. So she wasn't just affected by Peter. Like, she wasn't just revolving around him.
So then the other character that he brings up, he's like, well, what about Tony Stark? Tony Stark was there. Obviously, you know him. Stuff has happened to him off screen, but he's like, it's only in the forefront of Tony's mind when he's in front of
But
Peter.
if you look at the Raimi films, they're completely differently. You know that Harry's got his own deal with his dad.
and MJ has its complete story arc in the three movies.
You hear her
Character
dad's
arc.
yelling at her.
Yes.
She's,
That's
you know,
true.
there's
Yes.
so much more to
Yes,
those characters than
absolutely.
just being on screen and serving, the plot.
Well, look at the arc all the supporting characters take in the trilogy. Like, that's good character interiority, secondary supporting character writing,
right?
basically. Which they're just set dressing.
What do you guys think of? I saw some criticism or some comments online. What do you think of them putting Spider-Man in Europe for this one instead of away from New York? We still haven't really seen him in this MCU version swinging around the skyscraper
in Manhattan. Yeah. It looks like he does a little bit of that from the trailer because he's going by the Avengers Tower. You know what? It's fine. It'll be fun. It's different. I don't care.
No, we already had the best version of that in the Amazing Spider-Man movie. So
all right.
So it's okay that they're taking him to a different location. He occasionally does go different places, so it's fine. That doesn't bother me. The location doesn't bother me as long as there's some of it in the movie. Like I'm sure they're going to start out in New York, and have a little bit of that.
Look, I'm still excited about Mysterio. You fucking chill it all. It's great. Listener, you can continue this conversation with us at our exclusive closed Facebook group called Jock and Nerd Nation.
Jock and Nerd.
Join it today. Geek out with us. Let us know what you think. A lot of you have already let us know what you think about this trailer, and there's been some great back and forth. Welcome, new member listener Billy Locke. Locking it in.
Hey, let me give a thumbs up to the poster. I actually like this one.
Jimmy Shea had an incredible pencil drawing. Anthony, describe it for us. Is great.
No, I'm talking about the Spider-Man poster.
Oh, I was talking
Far
about
From Home.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about, but have you seen this Far From Home
with
poster?
his face with all the stamps on.
Yeah, with the stickers from all the different.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of like that.
It's not bad.
It makes it still like that kiddie,
it's lighthearted
teenage vibe.
Yes,
lighthearted vibe.
Fun.
Oh, but that poster that Jimmy Shea. So
I love that.
Jimmy Shea drew all his favorite characters in a little sketch. I think he's got Pumpkinhead on there.
All his favorite fictional horror comic book from Vertigo. There's like 50 characters on this drawing.
But in that drawing, if you look close enough, you can see. Well, you don't need to look hard to find Imran.
Yeah, I stick out pretty good.
You can find me if you look close enough.
You were the hardest one to find in that.
I am definitely the hardest one to find, and then you can definitely find Ruggs.
Yeah,
if you're looking for
I loved it, Jimmy. You get points. Points for the
second fan art.
Yes,
we've gotten,
remember
right?
the Jesse Looney Lego fan art from like the
that's
Blab days. It's our official.
That's a while ago.
That was a while. That was like 2015.
But that was really cool. I appreciate it.
More fan art, listener. We want to see your skills. I like seeing our listeners' artwork.
Yeah,
posted there.
Drawing us amongst horror characters is a good thing.
That was very cool. It gets you. That gets you Jock and Nerd points.
Jock and Nerd.
He kind of drew me like as if I was kind of Frankenstein.
maybe he was fan casting.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, Anthony Frankenstein. I'll put that drawing in the show notes for the listener. If you're not in the nation, you can check it out. Let's move on to this other trailer that dropped today for John Wick 3, completing the trilogy. It's called John Wick Parabellum.
This is a great direction for John Wick because in the beginning of the first John Wick, right, he was
so
out.
far on John Wick. Yes, previously
he was out, and then they kill his dog.
And
he gets back in.
Yes,
so he gets back in. Then he fucking kills everybody on the earth, and then now he wants to get out again.
And now he's got a bounty on his head, and everyone is after him. Anthony, you have not watched the John Wicks, correct?
I have not.
So I just want to know what you think of this trailer from like just watching it out of context.
So this was my first thought, and I've seen clips of the other movies. I was like, wow, this movie's shot beautifully. The colors, the way they light everything. Yeah. The blacks are actually black, so everything else pops really well. So the setting, or whoever the cinematographer is, and the locations they're choosing, and the color grading is beautiful. Yeah. So that's all I had on it. Everything else, I've heard a ton of hype about the John Wick films, but having not seen the other two, the context is lost on me in this third one.
Okay, but
we gotta watch all three of them.
So, okay, first of all, Steve Lee's Patreon supporter Steve Lee, his movie pick is John Wick. I think we should do that one soon. Get it up on the Patreon.
We could do it like next.
Let's do it next. I think we should do it next. Jesse Rodriguez commented, "What I've been waiting for. In my opinion, this is up there with Endgame. Guess I'm a sucker for gun fu." And you know what, Jesse Rodriguez, I'm also a sucker for gun fu. The second half of this trailer, it's fucking action in this movie. Looks amazing. I love when he's got a machine gun, he's shooting at the guy, and then he just fucking throws the machine gun end over end at the guy. He's on a horse shooting a guy in the head on a motorcycle. I mean, come on.
Oh, shit.
It looks fucking sick. Ruggs, do you think it will live up to completing this trilogy?
I think that every John Wick movie has surprised me.
He's already has too many lines for my taste, Keanu, in this trailer. I think he's already talking too much. Keanu, just shut the fuck up and do the gun fu that Brandon Lee should have done.
He doesn't need to talk to be John Wick.
No, he doesn't.
Just fucking kill people and just not die ever.
Halle Berry, Angelica Houston, Ian McShane, Lawrence Fishburne real quick, too.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, shit, they got dudes on motorcycles with swords. It fucking looks amazing. Anthony, I'm interested to see what you think of John Wick. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a sick action movie.
I've heard nothing but good things, and I do enjoy some good action.
Gun fu is the best way to describe it. I love gun fu. Parabellum, guys. You know what? Anybody knows what the parabellum means?
Lady Antebellum?
It's not Lady Antebellum.
It's more than one bellum.
There's a pair. There's a pair. Oh, there's a parabellums. I thought it was like a curve. That's something else, right? I looked it up. It's a semi-automatic handgun or machine gun. It's another name for the Luger brand of guns. Have any of you guys ever shot a gun?
Me?
Yeah.
Of course.
Have you?
Yeah.
Anthony, you ever shoot a gun in a gun range?
I have never shot a gun.
Oh, dude, you should go.
I've shot many guns.
I think everyone should go to the gun range and just try it out. It's quite exciting and it's a lot of fun.
I'm probably really nervous.
But you've done it, Imran?
I've done it. There's out in Bensonville. There's a place called Gun World. I've been there twice. I went for like a bachelor party, for one of them. But dude, it's really cool, and you could see how like it's a sport. You kind of want to get better at it. I don't know. It's just shooting a gun is fucking gets you going. It's weird.
Then I can hold a gun properly. I used to shoot them all the time.
Yeah, I don't think a felty. They'd allow felties.
No,
now you have to hold it in your mouth. That's kind of strange.
That's sideways, gangster style.
It makes it really difficult.
I don't think they give felties Floyd cards.
Break yourself, fool.
Just like fucking the puppet version of Boys in the Hood.
I've actually shot like machine guns.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've just shot a handgun, never like a rifle.
That's got to be exhilarating. That power that you have in your hands.
You don't want to know something? The fear of what you're holding fucking scares me to death.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, okay, my only job is to try and control this shit so it doesn't fucking hit anything I don't want it to hit. And it's very scary. I don't know how people walk around with guns all the time.
Yeah.
I don't.
Just loaded guns.
So it's like, have you ever held a katana blade in your hand?
No.
Like a giant thing that could just slice a person in half?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot. You just hold on to this steel, and you're like, dude, this is fucking, it does change. It's not no longer, you pick up a blunt object, it doesn't do anything for you.
It does something to you.
I remember being in the Philippines 2 years ago, and my cousin's a cop over there, and he took the bullets out of his gun, put the gun on the bag. He's like, hold it. And I was even nervous just to hold an empty fucking gun. I was like, I do agree with you. And I've never shot a machine gun.
It does something.
But I'm like, it does something. I'm like, this is a killing machine.
Yeah. No, even when I was at the gun range, like you're always aware of that. Like it gets dark. You're like, I could just turn around and fucking shoot everybody.
I could just turn and shoot.
What's stopping me from killing? Like this thing kills people. You're always very aware. It's super crazy.
It is a mind fuck, but I think that everybody should do it.
I think so too.
At some point,
because
like not like kids. I'm like when you're an adult,
it's education.
Like you have to to talk about something that you've never experienced. Like
absolutely,
a normal person doesn't pick up a gun and like feel great.
Right.
I mean, a normal person there's a lot of fear in holding that thing. There is a lot of. I mean, first time I ever saw a gun, I was like. My heart started beating so fast.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy what it does. I've had a gun actually go off, hit the ground next to me, and fucking ricochet out. It's a crazy story. We'll save that for later. But look, it's one of those things I think everyone should do. Like everyone should get on stage in a play. Everyone should smoke weed. Everyone should shoot a gun. Maybe don't do all those three things at once. That would be weird.
Smoke weed, shoot a gun.
While you're on stage performing Hamlet. That's my fucking. Bucket list right there.
Yeah, that's a Seth Rogen thing waiting to happen.
Oh, shit.
All right, moving on. Captain Marvel has early predictions, and they're predicting this thing could make $140 to $160 million on opening weekend.
Oh, shit.
People.
That's not impossible.
On March 8th, that's
domestically?
It's like Deadpool money.
I think it is. They mean domestically. Yeah.
Wow. That's good.
Female-driven
really big.
film. That would be fucking huge. That is like Deadpool money. First female-led film
third best pre-seller right
on
now.
Fandango. Yeah. The past March blockbusters, Hunger Games, coming in at 152.5 million. Batman v Superman made 166. Beauty and the Beast 174. It could play amongst that range of like big openers in March.
I've long thought that Marvel doing a female-led superhero movie, it'll be big, just because of the hype.
Yes, but I think that last trailer, I think the Endgame trailer, and then that last Captain Marvel trailer really gave it a big boost it needed, and people started buying tickets. And Fandango's like its third biggest thing,
biggest MCU.
Yeah,
film.
so their marketing is clearly working for that, and they put out a bunch of character posters. Let's move to some TV news. Another teaser trailer. Again, we talked about Game of Thrones last week. They put out another teaser this week called Crypts of Winterfell. Vague, ambiguous, not a lot there. What did you guys think of this one?
It's clear to me that they shot this for promo only.
Yeah, there's no footage. This is not going to be in the show.
This is not from the show, yeah.
It's kind of cool. You see Jon Snow and Sansa Stark and Arya walking down the Crypts of Winterfell past all the statues. A feather falls when Jon walks. I don't know if does that signify something? A raven?
Bran?
Or Bran. That's the thing. They all get to the end, and they're looking at statues of themselves.
Yep.
And then the ice, they turn around, there's a wind, and the ice and smoke start freezing the tunnel. And that's it. The big reveal, April 14th, people.
Oh, shit.
That
Oh, man.
is your date. April's going to be a crazy fucking month.
So we're going to review this weekly?
I think
Are we
so.
gonna do
It's 6 movies. We will be doing 6
that's
weekly movie reviews. Absolutely.
I think that's probably
Is that what you
appropriate.
want to do, Anthony?
I think that's probably appropriate because the conversation each week is going to be about this show.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's going to have to be, and it's just for 6 weeks. You know,
the only thing is,
it's going to run into Endgame.
We might have to discuss this off air, but we're going to be reviewing every episode. We're going to have our episode of reviews
week later.
release a week out of every episode.
It's fine.
When the next episode
Listen,
is airing.
5 years from now, it's not going to fucking matter, is it? That's
True.
all you got to think about.
All right.
In the future, nobody's going to care. But there's also Shazam comes out in April. Endgame comes out in April. Hellboy that nobody's going to watch.
Hellboy.
A lot of things are
Oh,
coming
fuck.
out in April.
That's not in the same class as what you got. What did you say that before?
Endgame and Shazam.
Endgame. Well, not even Shazam, but Endgame
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And Game of Thrones.
And Game of Thrones.
No one's anticipating
A lot
the
of
next
things
Hellboy thing.
ending this year. Game of Thrones, the MCU as we know it, possibly Gotham be over.
Gotham.
So Gotham is back, and in the promo for the first episode, at the very end, there was a shot of a cape and cowl and smoke on the fucking Gotham. I was like, what?
Oh, shit.
What the shit is this? They're gonna do it. It's fucking, the show's nuts.
It's going to do it at the end like they did with Smallville.
Probably. It just puts it on and it cuts to nothing.
Yeah.
So back to Game of Thrones. Is Bran Night King, or why didn't they put him in here? They got all the Starks. Is it just awkward that he's in a wheelchair?
Well,
They didn't want to ruin the flow.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's not going to fight.
He's going to appear controlling some kind of character.
Some kind of
He's piloting.
Yes.
The one-eyed
yes,
Raven
'cause he's
never
a
really
warg.
fights. Yeah,
He sees
he sees things and observes.
He's gonna warg it up and jump into something
Who
else.
knows if he's the Night King or not? That's a theory floating.
Yeah,
around.
he looks like him.
Maybe he controls the Night King.
Ooh. Or they're
He controls things, right? He can control
He
anything.
can warg into most things. Yeah,
He
it hasn't been established if he can warg into a undead. What are they called? White Walker.
White Walker or another person.
You know, the funny thing about Game of Thrones for me is I got to do like a refresher. I'm not going to rewatch everything, but I got to like look at a map or read something because there's like little things that I've forgotten.
Yeah.
that I had on the top of my tongue.
Someone should make
Like
a
a recap.
refresher, like a huge, like maybe a half-hour long.
The whole season?
recap.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
snap.
everything.
Should we
Of
do-
everything we need to remember?
Do we do that?
No, we're not doing that.
No, I'm saying someone on YouTube, do it now.
Do it now.
Do it now.
It's not a tumor. Somebody do it now. You can watch, there's all these recap videos, but yeah, some of the shit I need to, especially the last season, some of the details I kind of want to watch.
No, but
some
it
of
should
the
be one
battles.
thing you could sit down, like
Yes.
right before you watch it,
Gives you everything.
and then let's prime it up.
Wasn't that a video? Was it
fluffy.
Was it Sam Jackson that like did the whole
Oh, he
6
did do
seasons?
one.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
he did a narration of it.
Sam Jackson recap of Game of Thrones. It was
I might have to watch that.
that was really fucking funny. All right,
That sounds funny.
Let's move on to there's been a whole bunch of rumors for the MCU shows on this upcoming Disney Plus streaming service by none other than people on 4chan.
Oh God.
Right, but the MCU Cosmic has kind of
Taken with a
broken,
grain of salt.
taken it with a grain of salt. MCU Cosmic has chosen to distill some of these. He says, he's like, normally I wouldn't run these sort of plot spoilers. 99% of the time, they're just fan fiction made up by the poster. However, with these rumors, there's a lot of it in the post that checks out. Everything's in early development. So let's just dive in. One of them, he has the Vision and Scarlet Witch show. Like we said, this appears, it has a writer and a showrunner. This is the farthest along the shows to be developed. This is what it's going to be about. I find this is really interesting. It's going to be a suburban psychological thriller where Wanda and Vision settle down in the suburbs, but something goes very wrong when she attempts to give Vision a soul, quote unquote. Agatha Harkness may be the villain. I like this idea because there was a Vision comic book a few years ago where it was kind of this. He created a whole family. Created a wife, 2 kids, even a robot dog, and they moved into the suburbs and they tried to blend in, and crazy shit happened. And
it was good.
It was really, really good. Anthony, what do you think? Is this a good way to go with the Wanda and Vision?
Like them trying to be a legit family in the midst of
and just
being judged.
Yes, right. Wow.
Yeah, no, I think that actually would be something good because that would be. I mean, that would be allegorious to a lot of things. You know, like mixed race couples. Well, I have to decide if I'm going to get Disney Plus. So,
we're getting Disney Plus. You fuckers.
So then I probably will watch it.
We will check out the first episode at least. I love when they do things like this. It's a very superhero.
I mean, you can easily make Vision like an Arab marrying a Jew and living in a Jewish community.
Absolutely,
it's the same sort of deal.
Yeah. And then trying to just blend in.
It's like, dude, you're a robot.
But you look. Yeah, we know that this is not what you look like.
Right.
Also interesting to note, how many of these characters we're going to talk about were dusted. So Wanda and Vision. Vision wasn't dusted, but he was black and white and down. Wanda got dusted. The Loki show. Okay, this one's interesting. Seemingly confirming that rumor from last week. Tom Hiddleston's only going to narrate the series, and it may feature a young Loki. And possibly
That's
vocal.
Probably
the best way to do it.
The best way to do it if you don't want to cheapen the fact that he's dead.
That he's dead and he's not coming back, as you're telling these stories in the past.
But
and he's
fans will be probably really mad if Loki's not in the show.
You could
like Thor in
Tom
it?
Hiddleston.
Well, possibly vocal cameo by Odin and possibly a young Thor. It says in here. So a young Thor and Loki show narrated by Loki. Yeah, it could be fun. By Hiddleston.
I wonder what the kind of budget they'd have for that.
There's another rumor that all of these shows will have $100 million budget.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
For these limited series, 6 to 8 episode shows. I saw that somewhere.
That seems like a decent amount of money.
Yes, for all these, that would be very decent. There's a Hawkeye show, as reported exclusively at MCU Cosmic back in October. There's a Hawkeye series in the works where he helps and trains Kate Bishop against a new criminal group. That's kind of cool. Of course, we knew about this Bucky and Falcon series set to be a spy thriller, kind of along the lines of Winter Soldier, would tie into the post-Endgame events very closely. They would be recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. to deal with a new group, as well as a U.S. agent. So this is where he's saying Nick Fury would appear in the Disney Plus series, Agent 13, also a possibility. Lady Sif show will deal with Sif's banishment from Asgard. So it does seem like a huge future of the MCU may be taking place on Disney
None of these
Plus.
sound as cool as Daredevil.
That's true.
That's also
a very
a
good
good point. Yes.
And it also seems like, I mean, these all sound like decent ideas, but it seems like overkill. Like there's too much.
They're throwing
like
too much.
They have like 7 ideas there, or 6 ideas.
Yeah.
I haven't been counting. That's a lot to throw out there at one time.
I don't mind that it's a lot. It's just a lot of stuff that I'm not interested in.
There's another one, Rocket and Groot, possibly rumored Rocket and Groot show. So it is like, it's these pairings. And then and this other article says Nebula and Gamora may have a thing.
Like, I would like to see something handled from the Marvel Universe in this manner. Like, what an 8-9 hour like manner with, 8 or 9 little mini movies putting this big story together. And they obviously not going to do that with Avengers, but you could do a run of a comic book of something.
Well, this Hawkeye show, they could do the Hawkeye Matt Fraction run which is also amazing. It's very indie, street level stuff. And the story is great, and that sounds like what they're rumored to be doing.
The Vision sounds like that run of comics.
Yep.
That could be interesting.
Which is smart. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Very exciting.
If they're gonna, if they do put these on, they should follow the kind of the Daredevil format of taking a storyline from the comics and just running it out with a little bit of their own flair and twist on it.
This is Kevin Feige overlooking this. This is MCU, Marvel proper, running these shows. It's not their TV division.
Where's Daredevil?
Oh, boy. Speaking of Daredevil and Netflix and Marvel on Netflix, everything's been canceled except for Punisher Season 2, which is out.
Going to get canceled tomorrow.
Can we bet right now the Punisher Season 2 comes out as we're recording tonight, late tonight. By the time the show posts, it'll be out. I will guarantee the week the show is out, it gets canceled.
I will go end of January.
Oh, you're gonna give it a couple of weeks.
So February, when February rolls around 1st or 2nd.
So the last times they've waited like a month to fucking cancel it.
That would have helped that context.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, probably.
But now we know. So
I'll watch Punisher after I finish Narcos.
Oh, Narcos. Well,
Narcos.
The reason I bring up Netflix, listener, as our last piece of news for the news section is get ready. Despite the fact that they've cut all the fucking Marvel shows, they are increasing their price again.
Oh, shit.
And this is the largest increase they have done yet. The most popular subscription plan will go from $11 to $13 a month. That's the HD streaming on 2 devices. The single subscription plan, $8 to $9, and the 4 subscriber plan, $14 to $16 a month. The last time they raised prices was in 2017.
Yeah, it's getting too high now.
Their argument is we need to cover the cost of all this amazing
original
content we're making. However, there's a lot of fucking trash on Netflix.
There's a lot of fat on there. There's a lot of bullshit.
So many
that's on there
shows
no one wants to watch.
You can't even fucking keep up with it. And a lot of shows get 1 season and then they're canceled. So is this really the best use of this increased fucking membership money? Netflix?
They're gonna. You know what? It's not that it's the best use. It's they have to because they're losing all of their content that they've licensed from other properties. They need to invest even more into original content.
They need to kind of like create. See, if they're gonna do this, they're gonna have to do like what cable used to do. Is that okay? So let's say you get HBO, right? And then you get HBO, and then you get HBO Action, or you get HBO this.
Oh yeah, HBO Sports or HBO documentaries.
Like you need to like, if you're gonna do something like this, like you gotta have. Right now, the way they're delivering the content, it's like a needle in a haystack. You have no fucking idea. It's running off of your algorithm that you're creating as you're watching.
But you don't know if any of these shows are good without a huge time investment.
No idea.
Yeah.
So I think that they have to get better at distributing this content because right now there's like a fucking million shows and I don't give a shit about like half of them because I don't know if they're good or not. Exactly. And I don't want to have to sit there and commit to watching it and deciding because like what if I'm wrong? What if I stick with it for an episode and it's good and I just bail out too early?
You gotta waste 10 hours to fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
So this year, the big stuff they got coming out, we talked about Umbrella Academy last week starring Ellen Page.
Right.
Final season of Orange is the New Black, which I haven't watched. Stranger Things coming out this summer. They got an original movie with Ben Affleck and Oscar Isaac in the pipeline, Bright 2. Michael Bay's doing a thing starring Ryan Reynolds. And also NBC Universal has unveiled plans to launch a streaming service of their own, making the whole streaming war that much more tight. You know, the Black Mirror with the Choose Your Own Adventure was
I've
great.
seen what the next evolution is.
What is it?
There's already a few things. Bundling, yeah.
I called bundling a year ago, motherfuckers.
But the big boys aren't part of any bundles. Yeah, you can bundle like some of the others.
Roku had just announced it's like a baby step. They announced that you can bundle these services one price, and you're going to get your Netflix, Amazon, or Hulu, Disney Plus, whatever.
Right.
But that's where it's going to have to happen because there's no way.
It's going to be because then if you try to get these all individually,
you're going to pay again.
Yeah, you're going to pay more than you paid for regular cable.
Look, I'm going to keep paying for Netflix, but you better give me some top-notch shit And not just
I can
bright
turn you on
too.
to some top-notch shit after
We will.
when the
You
post
did,
show.
and you did in the post-show listener. You will hear it. All right, let's take a quick break. I'll play some promos of some fun pods, and we'll be back with more geekery right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Pardon the interruption. I have some news which I believe you will find most interesting.
Would you like to hear the latest in Marvel television, film, video games, and comic books? Or are you looking for some ideas on what to pick up on New Comic Book Day? Well, join Mike and Eric on Mighty Marvel Geeks every Saturday night on Sorcerer Radio and every Sunday on the Weeby Geeks Network for all things Marvel.
There is a matter that requires your attention.
Mighty Marvel Geeks. Assemble!
All wrapped up here, sir. Will there be anything else?
In a world of heroes, villains, 6 British actors will come together to play Pathfinder. It's sort of like D&D, but also really not like D&D. Join Falter.
I immediately regret this decision.
Karagor.
Oh, I see you, Kenneth.
Velda.
Behold my arcane powers!
Shania.
Yes, of Trexicase!
M.
No, kill him.
And the Dungeon Master for an actual play podcast that takes adventure seriously. Available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and from DangerClubPodcast.com. Danger Club, let's roll. God, doing that voice hurts.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Jock and Nerd.
So if you're one of those listeners who can't wait for this show to drop, that downloads right away Sunday morning, we put out a show every Sunday morning and listens to it right away. First of all, thank you. We love your enthusiasm. But
Why do you do that?
I don't know, but I know a lot of you
what
guys
would compel
do.
someone to listen to our show?
A lot of people are commenting on the show, mere hours after its release, and I am astonished. But you get to midweek, and you may be like, I wish there was more. Jock and Nerd, where can I find some more? Oh, there is more, listeners.
Jock and Nerd.
Join our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. For as little as $1 a month pledge, you will have access to a whole nother podcast feed.
Geek Boner.
Bonus content, whole episodes, instant reactions, sports talk. This week, we got a new episode of Jock Talk, Anthony, with Chaz.
Their bottom is very weak.
That's the new Chaz clip. So I've replaced the shut the fuck up when I'm doing something with the weak bottom. And you had a special guest on this week, didn't you?
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with, by the way, if you don't know how to spell Patreon, it's Patreon.
Good spelling. You're a good speller.
I like to spell. I won a couple spelling bees in like 7th grade. But yeah, me and Chaz do a weekly sports talk show called Jock Talk on just for Patreon. It's usually a half hour to an hour long. And we're doing this for the entirety of football season, and then we'll stop and do it for just big events or weeks of sports news. But this week, me and Chaz brought on Jason Dutch from Voice from the Underground.
Yeah.
He likes to talk, so this one's a little bit longer. But we talk about the week in NFL action, some boxing stuff, Kyler Murray. So check it out if you like sports talk and want to hear people that don't know shit about shit talk about sports.
Who cares? A jock said that.
Ruggs,
Exactly.
that's rude. Come on now.
Somebody cares.
Somebody cares.
It's not me.
Check it out. Also, there is an instant reaction from Anthony. Anthony working the overtime on the Patreons. You saw Bumblebee.
I saw Bumblebee.
And if you are a Patreon supporter, you have already heard Anthony's instant reaction. But you can check it out right now, jockandnerd.com/Patreon, which leads perfectly into our next few segments. We got a couple of mini reviews from Anthony and Rug Boy. I'm going to make him review something he saw. But, Anthony, let's start with the Bumblebee. I'll give you the numbers after you tell us what you think of the movie.
So I want to first talk about the instant reactions because I think it's important, not important, but you need to at least kind of visualize or be in our mind frame when we do these, or at least when I do these. Mm-hmm. My mind is so scrambled after a movie.
It's challenging to do this.
I can't really put my thoughts into words very cohesively. And I still can't even days after, but it's more so right after a movie. So you're getting legitimately just words coming out of my mouth that I'm thinking as I think about the movie.
But sometimes your opinion changes too, and it's interesting to go back and listen to what.
So those instant reactions are worth listening to, just for the fact that you're getting raw thoughts that are pretty genuine. Now in hindsight, reviewing Bumblebee again and having thought about it, again, I would give this movie a thumbs up, like I did on the instant reaction. It is the best Transformers movie by far.
Shit.
But they all suck. So that's not a high bar to climb. But this is legitimately a good movie. And it's not good. It's set in the 80s, so you have that nostalgia factor. They're playing 80s music throughout because Bumblebee's whole shtick is that he can't talk, so he's using music to talk. So you have that whole thing, but it's not only nostalgia good in that they're using 80s music and the Transformers actually look like the retro Transformers from the 80s, but it's a legitimately good film about a girl and her car and how the car and the girl make each other find out who they really are, basically. So Haley Steinfeld's really good in it. The supporting cast is kind of one note, but they all kind of revolve around these two characters, and they work. And you can actually tell in this film what the Transformers are doing, who's who, and when they fight, it looks legit.
It's not a blur of metal polygons.
Getting rid of Michael Bay was the best thing ever. Travis Knight is awesome in this as the director.
Directed by Travis Knight.
Yeah, it's legitimately a really good film.
John Cena, how's the Cena?
John Cena's funny in it and stern, and he's like a military general, so it's a good role for him. It's overall. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed. The words that came to my mind when I walked out of the film was like, this movie is really cute, and like precious and thoughtful and endearing. Like those are all the words that came out.
I mean, I listened to your instant reaction, and I was like, damn, we should have fucking reviewed this movie. It's 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's really good.
7 out of 10 on average rating. It was made for $135 million.
Came out at the wrong time after the wrong 5 films.
The very right. So many things going bad again. First of all, you have the stink of 5 Transformers movies that are not great, especially they get worse and worse as they go on to wear rugs. You said you couldn't even, the last one was just completely garbage.
Yeah, I tried to watch it on my TV, and I just couldn't, even though usually when I'm watching something at home and it's shitty, I can deal with it because I'm not going to the theater and getting out of the house and doing something, buying popcorn and shit just to watch this movie. I'm just like, I could turn it off at any time, but like I was like annoyed at watching it.
So that's
so let me ask Anthony a question.
Yeah.
Does it make you, do you feel connected to any of those movies when you're watching this movie, or you're like, oh, it's a fresh start, and I'm happy that it's completely devoid of any connection to Michael Bay?
The only way you feel connected is they still have Optimus in it with the same voice. So you feel connected to not only Optimus from the previous films, but Optimus in general, because it's always been the same guy.
Yeah, Bumblebee doesn't always talk like with the radio either. That's something that
was Michael Bay thing. So that's the other thing that makes you feel connected to the Michael Bay.
They kept it. Okay.
But what they do, that's the only good thing Michael Bay added to the films, is that Bumblebee was talking with the radio. But what they do is, in this film, they basically, if they wanted to start fresh, like this movie is basically a prequel / reboot retcon of everything.
I heard they retcon a lot of the stuff from the Transformers franchise.
You could just start it all, like this could be the first movie of a new Transformers.
Which is my main thing was like, why didn't you start it this way, you fuckers? Show me the auto parts. Show me the prequel. Now, Anthony, what would you do? Would you be Bumblebee movies where he is our point of view, but these are Transformers movies, but they're revolving around Bumblebee? He's the main character. Or do you just break out all the Transformers?
The only problem with doing it around Bumblebee is the domestic reaction wasn't that strong to it. So,
well, look, let's get to the numbers.
The numbers weren't the best.
The other,
they were all right.
The other strike for this movie was it came out on the super crowded date, December 21, fighting Aquaman and Mary Poppins in the theaters.
Yeah, got killed.
So production budget $135, opening weekend makes $21 million. Right now, domestically, it's only made $110 million. Worldwide, 377. So it's past 300 million globally, which is good. But
I read that they're still going to move forward with this.
I think Spider-Verse has made more money than this domestically. I think they should, because again, you have a movie that fans love that's actually good. It didn't make a lot. Honestly, I think this will do huge once it's on video on demand. And you can rent
once it hits cable and people see they're going to want
the sleeper hit.
What they did really well, and I don't know if they can duplicate it, honestly, is the movie is not about the Transformers. It's just about Haley Steinfeld's character and Bumblebee and their relationship. And by the end of the film, I don't know if that can continue. So they would have to like the human character is much stronger than anything they've had previously. Legitimately, this is the best they could have done with a Transformers film not featuring Optimus Prime.
And set in the 80s, maybe you jump ahead 10 years and you introduce there's a different girl character every time that maybe reminds Bumblebee of
the 80s part really helps it too.
Yeah.
Like they do a lot of, because the girl works at a carnival, so there's a lot of scenes at a carnival, and she's the one suggesting the music, and she's like wearing a Ramones t-shirt throughout. So I don't know. It's all like very well thought out.
They're considering this a success.
It seems like lightning in a bottle almost.
Well, in terms of profitability, this being the most inexpensive film in the franchise, and the fact that it made almost as much in China as it did here, they're considering this a success. And like you said, that's why they would give it.
It was just
a sequel.
A poor release date.
Just a fucking crowded December, man. You can't. I mean,
if they would have put it out with nothing else, out, it probably would have done it much.
It would have been great. And I really, after your review, Anthony, I really want to see it.
Good soundtrack too.
Really, all 80s music.
Yeah, all 80s music, and then some Haley Steinfeld.
I thought, oh yeah, because she sings too. Super talented, and she was Spider Gwen in Spider-Verse. I thought it was interesting what you said. How in your review you were like, I can't believe a movie about a girl and her car has this much heart in it. But it made me remember, Ruggs, were you ever a fan of Herbie the Love Bug movies from like the late 70s?
I saw them when I was a kid.
Well, yes, when I was a kid,
Herbie was like cool before I saw Knight Rider, and then I was like, okay,
Knight Rider is the other one. But as a kid, I remember, and he's also a Beatle, I remember loving fucking Herbie. Like, I love those Herbie movies.
You know what the movie reminds me of? That they basically copied?
What?
It's E.T.
Okay, yeah.
It's E.T. with gender reversal, and because you have the girl
alien
and
from
the
space,
foreign
government's
alien,
coming after him,
and they understand each other, and they bring the life out of each other, and then the government's coming after the alien.
Oh snap! It's totally E.T.
It's E.T.
But that's not bad. That's not a bad
film to copy off.
Yes, and it's a good one for this Transformers and Bumblebee. It fits. So that's cool, man. It has a great
It's
rating.
actually a copy of Mac and Me.
Oh, not Mac and Me. Anything. Never Mac and Me with the fucking dick hole mouth aliens.
Oh my god.
Oh, remember that? We reviewed that on 365 Flicks. That is the worst fucking ET ripoff. God, that should be a what the fuck happened, but I cannot watch that movie again. It was horrible.
No.
All right, Anthony, thank you for your thoughts on that movie. Ruggs, I'm going to send it over to you. You saw something. Want to tell us what you thought about it?
Oh, yeah, I watched The Reign of Supermen.
What is that?
Reign of the Supermen.
So here's what it is real quick. There was 2 movies. Last year, they put out The Death of Superman.
Oh, okay.
Which was the same Doomsday thing they started, but this is the sequel after he dies with all the other Supermen.
Yeah.
And I saw in some theaters, I think it was like recently, they were playing both movies back to back, certain theaters, special showing.
Right.
It's a big thing. So I started watching Death of Superman. I didn't finish it. It seemed okay. But what is this one better?
No.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's got some stuff in it that's interesting. If you don't know, DC already did this.
Yeah.
They did the whole
Superman Doomsday, the first one of the first movies.
And they did it, and it was good, and they didn't really need to redo it. So it was an unnecessary film to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do something they haven't done.
So the DC films are in a weird ass place where they're doing New 52 stuff, which is completely obsolete.
Yeah.
So why do it?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
So they're retroactively fitting New 52 in with stuff that was in the 90s before New 52, which is the death of Superman. And they're like kind of like combining all this stuff into like this kind of thing.
It's confusing.
Making something new.
Yeah.
So the way it plays out obviously is Doomsday is released by Darkseid to destroy Superman. So Darkseid could just come in and take out the Justice League and just have free reign over to take over Earth. Right?
Yeah.
So Superman dies, and then all of a sudden we start this movie with Superman being dead for like 6 months, and now the appearance of all these quote-unquote Supermen. So there is Steel.
Oh, yeah. I
remember this in the comics? Yeah.
Then there is Superboy, which is a clone that was created from
Cadmus?
Superman's DNA.
Is that from Cadmus?
No, Oscorp. LexCorp.
Oh, LexCorp. Okay.
I'm getting confused. LexCorp creates with Lex's DNA and Superman's DNA, Connor, who only gets called Connor at the very end of the movie, who is Superman, but he's clearly not fully matured. He's like maybe 16 or 17.
He's a clone
His balls
too?
haven't dropped.
Yeah.
He is a clone.
He is the clone.
And then you also have the Eradicator.
Yeah.
And Superman Cyborg.
Cyborg.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I remember Cyborg Superman.
And they appear and they start doing things. And basically, the story unfolds as who are these people? And Lois Lane is trying to figure out what the fuck's going on because she, was kind of shell-shocked at the death of Superman, was, locked up in her apartment, crying. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, these new Supermen come along and they're like, oh, I have something to do now. I have to figure out who the fuck these people are. And why do one of them looks exactly like Superman. And one of them, there's a whole thing that was like, okay, what is this? So she goes and investigates and then the story goes on from there and you figure out.
Is this on the DC Universe app?
No, it's not. That's the first thing I'm going to say.
It just came.
Why the fuck is this not on the fucking app? I'm paying money.
They're going to wait to put this
and
on.
I got to wait to see this fucking movie.
Because they want people to buy the Blu-ray and the digital download.
Yeah, what a bunch of bullshit.
And then, a year from now, it will be.
You have my money.
Already. Put it on the app.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Put it on the app, and then
you're giving me nothing.
People are still going to buy the Blu-ray. They think that's going to cannibalize their Blu-ray sales
This
and
is
the digital
such bullshit. It's bullshit. They should have released it there.
They should have released both parts. Death of Superman is on the DC Universe app. I think I'll probably pass on this one.
I mean,
Let's skip
there
it.
is a couple of fight scenes that are fun.
Okay.
But it's forgettable. So
that stinks.
You don't have to see it. If you want to watch the Superman Doomsday that you already own on DVD, probably
watch that.
Watch that. It's awesome.
So the next one will be Batman Hush, which that would be kind of cool if they do it right.
I mean, I love the character designs.
Yeah.
And I love the animation.
The voice cast for the Death of
And the
Superman
voice-
is pretty dope. You got Jerry O'Connell, Rosario Dawson, Nathan Fillion, Jason O'Mara,
Jesus Christ, you didn't even let him finish what he was talking about.
Rebecca
That's
Romaine.
fine, but it's true. Like the voice
Ray
cast is
Wilson.
good.
All right.
Yeah. So that's not the problem. No, it's just the way that they're kind of doing these things.
Yeah.
They're fine. I mean, it was good. It wasn't
it's just
like
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh my god, this when I saw Under the Red Hood, it was really cool and really awesome, and some of the other Batman ones are really good.
Yeah,
and it kind of have a lot more
What about
than some of
Gotham
the
by
movies
Gaslight?
have.
Was that any good?
I enjoyed that. I thought that was actually pretty
I'm
good.
trying to think. That's the.
It's a little slow.
Okay.
But
because they haven't had a really great one in a while.
In a while, yeah.
Maybe Gaslight is the good one.
Look, when you see something like Into the Spider-Verse and they go balls to the wall with something, and
it makes it look like
I love the animation from DC.
But compared to that, it looks like afternoon cartoon animation. Like
they just
TV
gotta
animation.
do one of those a year.
Yes,
they got to do
yes.
one of those a year and make it really count.
Batman Hush should be good. That's a great story. Stick to the story. And it will be great. All right, good little mini reviews, guys. Guess what time it is? It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's a great remix. Wait, Ruggs is still going. You got more in the bag? Okay, there we go. This is the segment, if you're a new listener, where I pull stuff from the awesome Facebook group we mentioned earlier, Jock and Nerd Nation. Shout out. I'm going to start with something I posted regarding to our last episode where we reviewed the Bandersnatch, Black Mirror Bandersnatch. Guess what? Netflix picked the wrong path, mate, because they're getting sued by the Choose Your Own Adventure book publisher.
Oh, shit.
For this concept. This is kind of an interesting story. The company is called ChooseCo, LLC, Vermont-based publisher of the book series, alleges that Netflix deliberately exploited the brand awareness of its book series to launch the show. The Choose Your Own Adventure books, obviously popular in the 80s, 90s, sold 265 million copies, according to the suit, which seeks at least $25 million.
That's a lot of dough.
In damages.
Oh, shit.
Here's what's interesting. Netflix was in negotiations with Choose Your Own Adventure for the trademark for the last couple of years. Obviously, you got to imagine they wanted to do this. They're like, we should probably talk to these people. The there was no deal, and they went ahead and did it anyways. That may be an issue. The other interesting thing to note, 20th Century Fox recently optioned the rights to develop an interactive movie for the theaters from Choose Your Own Adventure, and now this year, those rights will be owned by Disney.
For the theater?
Yeah, how do you do that for the theater?
Everybody's averaged out?
They bought the rights to do a movie, a theatrical movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody would be voting, and then whoever the average wins.
Maybe. I guess you could have a little pad. Yeah, I don't know how you would do that in a fucking movie theater.
That's strange.
Yeah, but they cite that the film is violent and disturbing, and it's muddying their brand, which is inappropriate for their young adult readers.
They should be able to get that money then.
Well,
I feel like they'll get it.
So Joe Henry commented, I thought this was interesting. This will probably not go to trial. They're just suing for money to make the lawsuit go away. If Netflix takes it to court, they will most likely win, meaning ChooseCo. So yeah, the $25 million is probably just to settle this. And I don't know if this hurts plans for any more of these. They just went ahead and fucking did it anyways.
They gambled.
They're like, maybe nobody will notice. But can you really, like, that's patented? Like, the concept, you can own the rights?
Right.
You know, it seems weird. It just seems like an open concept.
I'm more, I mean, this is kind of funny, but the movie theater, how the fuck would you do a Choose Your Own Adventure in a movie
I don't know.
theater?
Hey, how would you make an emoji movie, right? They did that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Shit's possible. You'd have to have...
That's not the same.
You know what? You'd have to have, like, an app on the phone.
Yeah, you would need to, like... It would need to be even more next level than 4DX.
Yes. Oh, my God. It would be, like, virtual interactive.
You'd need to, like, interact with your, like... And how do you come to a consensus?
I don't know.
Is it like a vote?
Yeah, that's what Rugg said. You would average it out.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool? Imagine like a VR, using the Oculus, a VR Choose Your Own Adventure movie. Like,
where you're in it?
Yes, in a space where you can kind of move around and shit. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Oh, yeah. It'd be
Never
great.
happened. Okay, moving on. More comments from our last episode. A lot of comments from our last episode, which is great. Chris Marin writes, RE, the latest podcast. Elastica, music from the Captain Marvel trailer. Great track from an awesome band. Their albums and EPs were great. Still are. Ruggs, they weren't an all-girl band. It was 2 girls and a guy to start with. Then 2 guys and a girl. The founder/drummer.
Then 2 girls, 1 cup.
Then 2 girls, 1 cup. And then there was 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
Miswrote. I think he meant to say it was 3 girls and a guy to start with, and the guy was the drummer.
Oh.
So it was a mostly girl band.
It was 3 girls and a guy. Then, okay.
Technically, he's right, but yeah.
The founder and drummer and keyboardist, also his wife, he says they've had a music store in town 8 miles from him, South Moulton, for the last 11 years. Chris, go say hi. Tell them we love their music.
Yeah, I mean, it was, if you look at the album cover for the first...
It's all chicks, yeah.
It's 3 chicks and a dude.
Right. He was the drummer, I remember, in the video.
And then, like, in the later iterations, it was like 2-on-2.
Love the Elastica.
Whatever.
I like a little
But
2-on-2.
they were the main... They were the ones that mainly were on camera.
So
they were the main
on
featured people.
Is it important to have a strong bottom?
Their bottom is very weak.
That's what I would want to know.
Well, I think you need a power bottom.
I think you need a power bottom and a submissive top. I don't know how that works.
I don't know how.
Ray O'Neill comments, y'all's question about if there are any good prequels made me think of something Stephen King said. He said something like, if backstory was interesting, it would be front story. So probably not, LOL. I couldn't find that quote, but that sounds like something he would say. And he has a good point. Meaning...
What is he saying?
If backstory was interesting, it would be front story, meaning
the prequel story.
What's
would
the
be
point?
The main story.
Yeah. What's the point of prequels when you know what's going to happen? Seth Morgan comments, I can't think of any standout prequels either, aside from Better Call Saul. But that said, you're robbing yourself of so much great shit by not watching this show.
You guys watch it.
I do not actually. I watched Breaking Bad. I watched the first season and I never continued.
I think, how many seasons are we on? 3?
3 or 4, I think now.
I think I've watched 3 seasons of it, and the last season that came out, I didn't watch it yet. I'll wait. When it's all done, I'll binge it in a day, because I can't, like, I need to, like, I can't watch too much shit, and that's one of the things that's kind of fallen into the wayside.
Yeah.
But I want to get back.
There's a lot to watch. Chris Marin.
Week to week television is rough.
It's hard, so you got to wait. We used to do that, and I'm watching The Flash.
Now we're too impatient.
And Manifest. Chris Marin also said Better Call Saul is as good as Breaking Bad. If you watch Breaking Bad and like Saul Goodman or Mike, then you owe it to yourself to watch Better Call Saul. Ruggs, is it better than Breaking Bad?
No.
No?
No. But I think it's just as good.
Just as good. Okay, I was wondering if it succeeded the original, the prequel.
Because, look, Breaking Bad is such a... the character arc is so much better.
Okay.
So Breaking Bad, that's why a lot of these things don't really work, because...
You know where Saul's going to end up.
Well, not only that, but like... Heisenberg starts out as this nice guy.
Right.
He's a teacher. He's just like this dude, and he's going to die. And then things change so much for him, and he becomes this fucking mastermind, and it's great,
amazing.
The transformation.
Yes, this is
Better Call
amazing.
Saul is just about a guy who's just a dude who knows how to talk.
Yeah.
His way out of stuff. He doesn't really change much.
He's just talking out of his ass
You know?
to get away with shit.
Yeah, so he's just kind of like a con artist, and he does have a heart. He always had a heart. He's never a heartless guy. So he doesn't really change much. The dynamic about the Breaking Bad is only about him and Jesse, and that transformation from Heisenberg, from whatever his name was before, to Heisenberg.
To Hindenburg. No,
To the Hindenburg.
And
Mr. White, Walter White.
And even though there's a name transformation here too,
Yeah.
where he transforms into Saul.
He's kind of the same person.
He's kind of the same guy. And the interesting thing is his relationship with his brother and that their competition and rivalry. So it's a completely different type of show.
I love Bob Odenkirk since Mr. Show with what's his
Human
face?
beings do it better.
Fucking
Homo sapiens.
Mr. Show is the best show if you want to see more with David Cross. David Cross, Bob Odenkirk. Jess Rivera comments, best prequels that I've seen and enjoyed. TV show Bates Motel. I didn't see that. And I really, really like the X-Men Days of Future Past. Would you consider that a prequel?
It is a
debatable.
It is. That's that's a good one.
It's a
I didn't think about
prequel.
that.
Yeah, it's a weird. It's more prequel than sequel. So yeah, that's a good.
It's a
I did like
prequel,
Days of
Red
Future Past.
First class is more of a prequel.
I like First Class too. Actually,
I'd like both of them. Days of
I
Future
like both
Past
of
too.
those.
Yeah, and they are kind
Batman
of.
Begins.
That's not a prequel though. We already discussed that.
Yeah, we did. We said
That's
not
the
a prequel.
beginning of a story. Of the story.
Well, that's it. That's the begin. There was always a beginning of everything.
I guess, but
then you can't. But then it's not. It wasn't released after a beginning,
right?
Which makes this the first.
Right. It's the first, not a prequel.
Prequel semantics.
Prequel semantics. I still can't, aside from those, it's hard to think of any good prequels, but those were great picks, guys. Brian Goff, great show, guys. After the Bandersnatch review, one of you mentioned how cool it would be to have a slasher type choose your own adventure. While it's not interactive, there's a movie called Brain Scan that came out in the early 90s starring Edward Furlong that is kind of along these lines. Has anybody seen this movie?
No.
You haven't seen it? He says in the movie there's a reality game called Brain Scan where the player basically goes on a murder mission and is coached by a narrator inside the headset. Haven't seen the movie in over 15 years.
I've almost watched it.
Really? He's like,
I've almost watched it like a couple
it
times.
sounds like cheesy fun. He's not sure how it holds up, but loved it as a kid. Total mind fuck. And it has an awesome twist ending. And I love seeing crackhead Eddie Furlong before he is a crackhead. So this must have been after T2 Eddie Furlong, right? Yeah. Ron Hans also comments, great show, guys. Doing the segment about the Captain Marvel trailer.
Why do these people lie to us and tell us we have a great
I don't know
show?
why.
Oh, shit.
Everyone keeps saying great show. Thank you, I guess. Thank you for enjoying.
Wowie zowie!
He says he's going to school us here about S.H.I.E.L.D. timeline. During the segment about Captain Marvel trailer, you guys were asking about S.H.I.E.L.D. and when it was founded. Here are some timelines around when this was created. It started as the SSR. We are correct in that acronym, Strategic Scientific Reserve. You are correct in that the acronym for S.H.I.E.L.D. was first used at the end of Iron Man 1, where it was called Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division, which was a running joke in that movie. However, the acronym was then reconned during a Marvel one-shot, the Agent Carter one, that takes place 1 year after World War II. The one-shot was extra on Iron Man 3, which got the TV show Agent Carter greenlit, so S.H.I.E.L.D. started basically 1946. In all this.
Thanks for doing all that work.
Yeah,
Ron.
thanks, Ron. I'm glad.
Thanks for using all that brain power.
Because we have none.
No, yeah,
I
collectively.
forgot about that.
I forgot about all that, but now it doesn't bug me that there's like a S.H.I.E.L.D. logo in the 90s in the fucking Captain Marvel trailer. I'm like, when was S.H.I.E.L.D. created? What's going on? Thanks for Thanks for talking me down from the ledge, Rod Hans. I was Fiddlesticks Winterbottom the Third got a couple of things to throw in here. He comments, I had a strong feeling Aquaman would top 1 billion. I should have bet with you guys that it would stall out around the 800 million mark. Holy shit. Aquaman has done what Superman couldn't do, what Wonder Woman couldn't do, what all of them together in one movie couldn't do, and become the first DCEU movie to break $1 billion. Oh, shit. Wow. And
yeah, I didn't think it was going to
No,
happen.
I didn't think that would happen either.
And like
I was
Anthony,
wrong
I
as
kept
well.
thinking about what you said last week, where you were like, "Can you imagine if someone told you that an Aquaman movie will make $1 billion?" Like 10 years ago, if you told me that, I'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah,
that is crazy. It is the only other DC movie that's made more is Dark Knight Rises.
I guess we shouldn't be surprised though, because Guardians of the Galaxy did really well. And
yeah,
I could ask that same question even more strongly about the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure,
because no one knew what the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Well, and now everyone...
At least everyone knew that Aquaman was a joke. No one knew that.
Not a joke anymore.
Not anymore.
So domestically, it is now past Man of Steel total. It's at 292 million, almost 300 million domestically, but worldwide, 1,036 million, something, 1.036.8. Jesus fuck, that's crazy.
It did it.
It did it. Congratulations to their first $1 billion movie, and made a big splash. Now, other movies that may or may not make a big splash. Glass is also coming
Did you
out
see it?
this weekend. No, it's coming out tonight,
oh.
tomorrow. It will be out by the time the show posts. Fiddlesticks also posted this article. The projection for its opening weekend, he says Glass was made on a $20 million budget.
Oh, shit.
It should easily make that back and rake in a nice little profit despite bad reviews. Domestically, it's going to open. It's Martin Luther King Day weekend. They're saying domestically it should open to 60 to 70 million, which is a strong opening. The last big opening was Clint Eastwood's 2015 film American Sniper at 107.2, but globally 105 to 120 million dollars. We'll see, because right now it's sitting at a 35% tomato meter rating. Average meter 5 out of 10 is what it is. Now, fellas, what are we doing? It's trendy to shit on M. Night, and like his movies are 50-50. Like I looked up all his movies. Literally half of them are good, half of them are bad. And so in this one, I don't really care what the critics think. I'm still interested. I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I'm still going in.
Anthony, are you with us?
No, I'm not watching it because I haven't seen Split.
That's true.
You guys can watch it and certainly review it. I'll just sit here and be quiet.
All right, I think we may do that because this. I mean, I'm anticipating this. I would like closure,
or I'll sit out that segment of the show.
Just go take a shitter and
take a shit while you guys talk
shitter.
about M. Night Shyamalan.
But Rugs, does this lower your expectations, or how you going and walking into this?
I don't know. I mean, they're very divisive movies, the M. Night Shyamalan movies.
And I hear this one has another divisive, crazy ending.
I read the review.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but it certainly got the reviewer talking, thinking.
Mm-hmm. And not in a good way, though, maybe.
Well, the reviewer was a M. Night Shyamalan apologist, so he admitted it, but he was like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting.
Wow.
So that's all I got.
Wow.
Well, I tried to watch a few reviews. Like what I do is I watch a review, and then before a spoilery thing happens, I just bail out.
Right.
Just to get the general tone.
Yeah.
And I don't know. From what I've seen of the reviews, it's like the performances are good.
Yeah.
That the first beginning is very strong.
I heard McAvoy's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, there might be enough there to like warrant a watch. Will it be a great movie now? My expectations are a lot lower now.
Yeah.
So I might be pleasantly surprised. I'm not expecting. I hate when people expect it to be great or tell me that it's the fucking best movie.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Then I go in going, all right, let's see what this fucking 10 out of 10 is. But if someone tells me it's completely garbage and I'm like, all right, well, let's see what these guys are saying. And then it doesn't end up being that bad. And I'm like, okay, so I'm a little bit more forgiving. It's like for me, it softens the blow when I already go in thinking it's going to be a piece of shit.
And if it makes 60 million, if there's nothing really else out, like the upside took down Aquaman from number 1, I think this thing could get number 1 around now. That $20 million budget, there's a line in here. This is very interesting. Shyamalan financed Glass himself. He is paying for this movie, which is why he kept a low budget. I think he'll make his money back. It will make a profit. And I think he's like just doing it. This is like his pet project. It's almost like he's doing it for himself. And I love when a creator does that, and they're putting their money where their mouth is.
But now if it sucks, it's completely on him.
That's also big risk, big reward. Go big or go home. That's absolutely right. There's no studio interference. There's nothing you can use as an excuse. Good point, Ruggs.
Yeah.
No, it'll
be interesting. Yeah. I'm going to check it out.
Well,
why not?
We'll check it out. Maybe give you our thoughts next week. Send in an instant reaction, Ruggs. Still want to check it out. Adam Morris shared a link. This was a lot of discussion on The Nation this week. Ghostbusters is coming back, and it's not a reboot. It's set in the original universe. It's a sequel. It's a continuation directed by Jason Reitman, son of Ivan Reitman. Apparently, he's been working on this movie in secret. Dan Aykroyd actually ruined this last year, a few months ago, but there's a teaser. And you see just a barn, and you see the proto beams light up, and then there's a tarp, and it blows up, and you see the Ecto one under the tarp. There's rumors that this may be like a bunch of teenagers. Maybe it's their kids. I'm glad that it's sticking. It's going to be in the same universe. Anybody excited for another Ghostbusters movie?
I'm like little bit depressed because Egon is dead.
Yes, Harold Ramis has died, so there's no original Egon. But
which one was Egon?
Egon was the scientist, the smart guy
with the glasses.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's dead.
You still got Ernie Hudson and Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd.
Everybody else is alive. Yeah. It'd be nice to see all of them involved.
Yes,
but you can't do anything about that. So that's my only thing that kind of like sours it a little bit. And it's Ivan Reitman's son's doing it, right?
Yes.
So at least his dad will be there going, "Hey, don't fuck my shit up."
Yeah, there's some connection there. And he said he's he obviously he's going to be a huge Ghostbusters fan, so it'll be coming from a place of love and passion. Blake Braden had an interesting comment. He said, discussion. I thought it was very clever for Jason Reitman to come out and completely leave the word reboot out of the new Ghostbuster movie interview. This is simply a continuation of the original story, similar to what they did with the Blade Runner franchise and many others.
Which is cool.
Smart. So instead of discussing what movies should be rebooted, which movies would you like to see a story continuation?
I don't get to give my thoughts on Ghostbusters.
What do you think about Ghostbusters? You don't give a shit.
No, I do.
Oh, you do?
Ghostbusters 1 and I love those are like some of my all-time favorite movies as a kid.
You're a Ghostbusters man.
Oh yeah,
great.
Ghostbusters was awesome. The thing is, as a kid, I got introduced to Ghostbusters through the cartoon and playing it at an arcade.
The cartoon was great too.
And then realizing that they had made live-action movies, I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
Everything was backwards with you. Let me go check out this movie.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you were born in the 90s.
That's true. You got to check out the good shit.
I was born in the 80s, but grew up in the 90s. Hey, you didn't know that this stuff was actually had already come out. So yeah, no, I love the Ghostbusters films, and I'm not necessarily excited, but I'm curious to see how they continue the story and what clever ways they can tie it into the original while still making something new and fresh.
I love the Ghostbusters. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't like the Ghostbusters.
Really?
Because as you know, young Rug Boy needed to have his heroes be young and good looking.
Oh, like He-Man.
These are not.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are not those guys.
And have muscles and stuff. I liked Arnold Schwarzenegger. I liked Jean-Claude Van Damme. I liked Rocky Balboa or whatever. Like at least they had to have muscles. All right. That was my thing. So I was like, I don't know why Ghostbusters needed to have muscles, but that was so stupid then. That's what I got an appreciation for it after when I became an adult.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I love Bill Murray and I love Dan Aykroyd and I love, everybody else involved.
There's a lot of adult jokes in that movie. If you think about it, there's like
I didn't realize how brilliant it was.
Yeah.
Like, Sigourney Weaver to me was not attractive at like whenever when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, a lot of the things in the movie that would make me gravitate towards it, because I'm always been a big fan of ghosts.
Yeah.
The only thing that I thought was cool when I was a kid was the giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And the
proton packs, man. You didn't like that? Who didn't want a proton pack?
And the girl at the end who was Zool.
Oh, yeah. The goth chick. You were into the goth chicks.
I even enjoyed Ghostbusters too, even though it's basically the same movie repeated.
Well, that's what's interesting is back then, like they weren't planning for a sequel, and you could
that's
tell
how sequels were.
Right,
Yeah,
it was
there's
forced.
just more of the
Yes.
same.
They're like, you guys made money, we make us another one.
What was the name of the guy in the painting?
Vigo,
yeah.
the Vigo, the what was he? Vigo the Vigorous or something. I don't know.
Vigo the Vigorous.
He was very vigorous, but there was like the pink ooze under
Vigo
the city.
the Carpathian.
Vigo the Carpathian. It had Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was in the fucking movie, singing the song. I love the Ghostbusters. So you could have taken that last movie, honestly, and tied it into the same universe. I don't know why they didn't, and it would have been fine.
I mean, both like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walking around, and then I mean, as a kid, when they put all the ooze in the Statue of Liberty, and then control her like a video game. Oh my god, I was dying. I was like, this is amazing. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
So many lines I love, like when Bill Murray goes, "He slimed me." Like that's hilarious. The quote, Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Say yes.
And then I love where he's like, let's show this bitch how we do things downtown. There's so many fucking great lines in that movie.
Great music, too.
Great
the Ghostbusters
music.
theme is awesome.
And just like it pumps you up by the end, dude, you are with these guys. You're like, fuck yeah. When they come out at the end, it's fucking great. It's just a feel-good movie.
I still have not seen the all-female version that got a lot of ridicule.
Me neither.
It's not horrible. It's fine. It's whatever. But like, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't. Dan Aykroyd's in the fucking movie. Why wouldn't you set it in the same universe? I don't understand. Anyways, back to I like Blake's question. What would you like to see continued? And is a continuation better than a reboot? I would say continuation, yes, better than a reboot.
I think it's one of those things that, like, if you're going to, if there is still stuff left on the table to do, you should do it.
Like Karate Kid, Cobra Kai showed.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that you can do with it, you know. But if you've exhausted it to the point of like it needs to be refreshed, then you can do it.
Like, what about Gremlins? Like, what's Gizmo been doing this whole time? Do you want to know? Does he have kids? Did he grow up?
No, I think there's no need for
no more Gremlins.
I think the first movie's great, and you don't need another E.T. either.
No.
You don't need another Godfather. You don't need another Goodfellas. They're all fine in the way that
Back to the Future was thrown about now.
No, you shouldn't redo that either. That's fine.
No, redo it. You do something with their kids, with everyone. Like it's the same universe.
I prefer a continuation as long as the writers.
Back to the Future, absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as the writers themselves are
part of it.
No, not that. It's that they think of a clever way to continue the story.
They tried to do like a movie of Pee Wee Herman on Netflix.
I couldn't watch the whole thing. I started watching it and I never finished it.
It was not good. Yeah. It didn't have Danny Elfman. It didn't have Tim Burton, and it didn't have the same charm. So it's like sometimes even if you have the same dude that's from the movie, and you gotta really have everything like everybody involved that really understands what it is.
Also, back to the prequel thing. I tried Solos on Netflix. I've tried twice to rewatch this movie. It does not hold my attention. Like I can't get through it. I don't know what it is.
It's shitty.
Shitty, exactly.
Lord and Miller is the reason.
I was like, why? Much. I can't. Like, I just didn't care, and like nothing made me care, and I was like, wow, all right. So I just gave up. Good question from Blake. All right, gang. Now things get serious. Keithan Denkinger has a proposal. Here's what he writes. I don't know if this is allowed or not, but if the Saints make it to the Super Bowl, and you guys were to publicly support them on the show as the official Jock and Nerd Super Bowl, what number is that? 53?
53, yeah.
53 pick. I will raise my Patreon pledge to $100 for the month of February.
Oh, shit.
And if they win, I will keep it at $100 for March too.
Wowie zowie!
I realize this might be $200. This might be bribery, but I would be so happy to hear Anthony say on the show. Just something to think about, I guess. Anthony, comment.
So I had originally predicted on, I think, Voice from the Underground and Jock Talk that my 2 picks to go to the Super Bowl were the Saints and the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember who I picked to win it all.
Okay.
Chaz said that I said the Chargers. I don't remember. All I know is I'm half wrong. So the Chargers got eliminated. Yeah, the Chargers got eliminated in devastating fashion to the Patriots once again. So I'm wrong about that.
Okay.
So I've only got one half of my pick.
You're right about the Saints. Okay,
The Saints.
Yeah, still in it.
I do think that it will be the Saints and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Oh, shit.
But because I had originally picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl along with the Chargers, I will officially endorse the Saints because I have to stick with what I originally did and try to make myself look better. Plus, Keithan, you've incentivized me enough. I can be bought. I can be reasoned with.
Yes!
The Saints are my official endorsement as a member of the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Jock and Nerd!
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's
Bro,
really
you
good.
even podcast?
Fuck yeah, there you go.
But I will say that I think it's going to be the Saints and the Chiefs, and I'm not rooting for... I wasn't originally rooting for anybody. I'm just rooting for awesome games because my Chicago Bears have been eliminated, but... I actually legitimately do think Saints, Chiefs, and I legitimately think the Saints are going to win it all this year.
We may upset some
based
Chiefs.
on the last 4 teams left.
Before I throw my support for the Saints, I need to see what their uniforms look like. So let me look that up.
It's black and gold and white, right? There's classy.
Black and gold.
Yeah, they got the little fleur-de-lis for New Orleans.
And let's see.
It's very nice.
Images.
The Chiefs is, what is that, red and white?
Red. They have an arrowhead on their uniform.
Honestly, I like the Saints color scheme.
I feel like that the Chiefs are they're somewhat racist.
Snap!
And they're from Kansas, where racist live.
Oh shit!
Wow.
And where are the Saints from?
New Orleans.
Oh my God, there's more diversity there.
Fucking New Orleans is amazing.
Yeah.
I want to visit.
So let's on the basis of social justice.
Yo, New Orleans is a way more fun town than Kansas City. Now, Anthony, we may be angering some listeners who are Chiefs fans. What do you have to say to them?
I have them going to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to beat the Patriots this year. And I'm not rooting necessarily against them either. I don't really have a dog in the race anyway because I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck either. I take the $200.
We want the $200 exactly. So, Keithan,
I need a new mic.
Yeah, yes, we know. We got to get Rug Boy one too.
We got to get Rug Boy a mic.
Keithan accepted. Saints.
But this is only happening if they win, right? So they have to win on Sunday, and then they have to win again. So if they win a Sunday, we get $100.
Well, no, we already got $100. It says, if you guys were to publicly support them on the show as the official pick, I will raise my Patreon plans to $100 for the month of February, period. Right there.
But you missed the part before that. He goes, I don't know if this is allowed, but if the Saints make the Super Bowl and you guys are publicly
shit.
So they have to win. Yeah.
Oh, I missed the first part. Okay. So the Saints have to win this weekend. So
Yeah, and that's 100. And then if they win the Super Bowl, that's another 100.
Wow, Keithan, also now you've given me a reason to watch a fucking football game. Let me tell you what, I'm going to be invested in the Saints. Who are they playing?
They are playing the Los Angeles Rams.
Go Saints! I'll be fucking watching this with anticipation. Thanks to Keithan, and I've never been so excited to watch a sporting event in my life ever until just now.
It's easy to rule Imran.
So this was
a couple of dollars.
There was also a little bit of discussion about the can we say Super Bowl? Because I've heard stories about the NFL, the No Fun League, and the Super Bowl copyright law. I looked some shit up.
So it's called Super Balls.
Listen, if you were to pick soup or bowl, I pick soup. Because what are you going to do with a bowl? It's empty. I'd rather have the soup. I could eat the soup.
Oh, it's a decision.
What
soup or bowl?
What apparatus would you eat the soup out of?
It comes in a can.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. You could, there are other things besides bowls.
But if you're talking loose soup, just put it in my hand. It's fine. I'll drink it out of my hand. I don't need the fucking bowl. Super Bowl, always pick soup. Now, the NFL trademarked the phrase Super Bowl in 1969. That means
does that mean we can't fucking say it?
No, it's in marketing things you can't say it. So mom and pop businesses, if they want to be like, come down for the Super Bowl special, you can't.
I didn't think this was a thing at all.
No, this is a thing, dude. And I've seen articles where they will sue fucking small businesses for putting like Super Bowl weekend on their thing. And yeah, you can't fuck around with the NFL. So they have a trademark.
So are we going to title this episode Super Bowl episode?
No, probably not. We probably should not do that. This never happened. We were talking.
You just call it Super Game.
The big game. You call it the big game. And just for the lawyers, we were talking about actual soup and bowls. Just for the attorneys. But yeah, you can't. They don't fuck
around. I was
around.
rooting for the Saints to come bless the bowls that these Chiefs made for me.
Yes, we're very religious people.
Yeah,
we want the Saints to pray for a victory so the Bulls win. Yes. I think we're clear. I think that'll work.
We wasted a lot of time on that.
Yeah, this was interesting.
It will almost get us $200 though. Moving on, Matthew Lawrence had some creativity here. This is pretty fucking creative. First of all, he asked, when is the show's anniversary? March 23rd, listener.
Jesus.
We will be 4 years old.
Jock and Nerd.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wasted 4 years of my life.
You guys wasted 4 years of your life every week. I'm surprised we did something every week for 4 fucking years.
Yeah, I can't believe
that's insane. So
Imran commits to nothing.
I committed to something. I should be committed.
Imran does all the work. So
yeah, motherfucker.
He gets all the accolades.
Keep you guys going. So Matthew Lawrence wrote this. So I'm thinking you guys put your artistry, Imran, and critiquing skills to the form of writing and creating the adventures of the Jock and Nerd comic book.
Oh my God.
No way.
To be completed by March 23rd, 2019.
Yeah, right.
That's never going to happen. Normal needs by day and superheroes by night. With
nerds, I think he meant.
Normal nerds by day, superheroes by night. With emotionless Anthony carrying around a Rugberto puppet as a defense mechanism to talk to the ladies who find him super creepy, and at night, his puppet becomes Rug Boy, life-filled puppet that can fly. Anthony becomes super suave when he loses the puppet, and of course, super strong. And Imran becomes a genius ninja with the ability to outthink the villain. Okay, now go. What will it take to get this done? It begins the inaugural annual of the Adventures of the Jock and Nerd. Just ideas. It doesn't have to be that exactly. He has more. He goes, first villain, the evil Mr. Matty J, who has hacked the news servers and constantly adds repeating news to the cycle, causing the days to constantly repeat. Nothing can stop this until the Jock and Nerd get on the case. At the end of each issue, lead journalist Matthew Delhauer of the Daily Nerd has a little article on the crazy happenings and how this trio of crime fighters saved the day. His column, it's called What the Fuck Happened Today in Whatever.
Let me say this.
Wow, that's fucking creative.
The amount of imagination and thought put into a potential storyline involving things that have happened and characters that have appeared on the show is quite amazing. That I never thought 4 years ago that I'd have a listener suggest a whole storyline revolving us.
He pretty much wrote Jock and Nerd fan fiction that's not gay, like the actual Jock and Nerd book series on Amazon. Pick that up, listener.
I like that the villain is Mr. Matty J.
Mr. Matty J. I think he jumped ahead on this episode to hear a little bit of the future. Ruggs, I don't think Matthew Lawrence appreciates how much work it takes to put in a comic book to
it's
create
never
one.
going to happen. You guys could do it. The fans should do it.
Or somebody write some fan fiction and just write a story.
It would be pretty narcissistic of us to create a comic featuring us.
First of all,
I've already gone to multiple music festivals wearing a T-shirt,
of your
wearing
own
a tank top with my own face on it.
Douche face.
I don't know if I can keep pushing the limits.
I love this enthusiasm. I love this idea.
You can wear my face, Anthony.
Yeah, you can wear a Geek Boner shirt.
But I like my face better.
But there's no way in hell this can be done by March 23rd. This comic books take fucking months. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, look, first of all, even to make it monetarily worthwhile doing, we're talking about thousands of dollars of work.
If I was to do this, I would want to do it right. I want it to be good. It would take fucking forever. Yeah. But I think
that's a great idea.
It's a great idea. I think someone should just write the fan fiction.
What would writing? Would your powers be to be a genius ninja?
It would be a genius ninja, but then I can also control the pigment in my skin to blend in with my background like a chameleon. That's good too, right?
Yeah. I would be the more traditional superhero for sure.
You would be like the face of the smarmy, but like behind the scenes, you're kind of a dick and have no emotion.
Right.
but you're the face of it, and then Rug Boy is just he's like Puppet Man from DC, like the puppet.
I'm like the Thing,
or
yeah.
You're like the muscle. You could be the muscle.
Yeah.
I love the
I was
creativity.
thinking more like the genie from Aladdin.
Oh, for Rug Boy?
The voice on your shoulder, like the evil voice or the good voice.
That's
right.
Come on, man.
Well, my power is I don't know what my power is.
Little good and evil Rug Boys on
But
your shoulder.
he would have been like this awesome hero in the past.
I will find the weakness in any
Yes.
villain.
He would have been this awesome hero in the past that was cursed to be. He can't ever actually help. He's always.
So I
just
know what
there.
to do. I just can't do it.
You can't do it. Yeah.
It's just completely
You're like, come on, you fucking moron, do it.
That's really good.
Terrific.
That's a great fucking Rug Boy. I love what he do, the Rug Boy. Great stuff. And I think Matthew Lawrence can predict the future because guess what? Here's the evil Mr. Matty J himself.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? Matthew James back again. We got a couple of geek items, so let's get right into it. First off, we got a Minecraft movie possibly in the works.
Nobody cares.
Why would you make a movie of blocky Minecraft?
That might be kind of cool to see. I don't know, depending on how they do it.
No one.
Jason
that's
Reitman
bad.
is going to be bringing back another Ghostbuster in the same universe.
We already talked.
He is the son of
It's like
Ivan
Groundhog
Reitman,
Day.
who did Ghostbusters. Do we need more Ghostbusters? I don't know. We'll see. Also tonight, this Wednesday, is the premiere of Deadly Class on Sci-Fi Channel. It's executively produced by the Russo brothers and also features Wong from Doctor Strange and Infinity War. This show looks kind of cool. I'll be watching and checking it out. So have you guys heard about or seen about this at all?
I'm going to pause it there. This is actually pretty interesting. It's on Sci-Fi. The premiere is out. It's called Deadly Class, based on a comic book from Image Comics by Rick Remender. Ongoing monthly, started in 2014, still coming out. Created by Rick Remender. Benedict Wong and Henry Rollins are in the first episode, which is crazy.
Do you remember the time?
Do you remember? The 21st of remember. The story is a coming-of-age story set against the backdrop of late 80s counterculture, which follows a disillusioned teen recruited into a storied high school for assassins. It's an 80s counterculture assassin high school
I've
show.
heard that the comics are great.
So, Ruggs, you may also love the music. They're using Depeche Mode, The Cure, New Order. And this is, what I like about this. Here's another thing they did, which I wanted these TV studios to do for a long time. Rick Remender is also the fucking showrunner.
Oh, shit.
For the show. And I've always said, get these guys writing comics, pull them over, get him to write your shows, he's writing, he's show running. This is his baby. It sounds really cool, and it kind of joins the Umbrella Academy.
Now I have to watch it.
The Boys, and it's on Sci-Fi, so everybody can watch it. But another reason I love this, just like Umbrella Academy and The Boys, these are non-superhero comics getting a chance on TV, like Preacher. And I think it's great for people to see like that comic books are more than superheroes, and there's really good shit out there. And I kind of want to check out. Apparently, it's really dark. A lot of killing, so Deadly Class on the Sci-Fi.
Spider-Man trailer looked amazing. Jake Gyllenhaal looked freaking awesome as Mysterio with his powers and his helmet on. I'm curious to see what his motivation is in the movie, and also if he got double-crossed or was kind of trying to control the elementals or whoever else they're fighting. There was a quick little blurb in the background on one of the boats in the trailer. Says ASM 212, which is Amazing Spider-Man 212. That is the issue that Hydra Man was debuted in, so it could be those guys and not the elementals. We'll see. Anyways, all right, guys, keep up the good work.
Gonna feed you.
I don't know what this is.
We get to Sweeney. I can't eat anything because I'm a chipmunk.
Jock and Nerd.
I'm not sure what that was.
Oh, that was one of his stranger ones for sure.
Yes.
That's going back to like when he started doing like the weird skits.
That sounded like he gagged up a small child and it has him in his closet and had him say something. That was weird.
Someone go to Matthew Lawrence,
Matt J. Miller.
Matt Miller's house, and I
think there's a small child
It is okay.
in trouble. Thanks, Matty J. Miller. Also, listener alert, friend of the show, Matt Delhauer, has a new episode of Ginger Geek Pod.
What's it about him, Ron?
It is about the psychology of PTSD, suicide, regarding the character of the Punisher, which is Delhauer's favorite character, and specifically
I'll have to check that one out.
He's timed it for the release of Punisher Season 2. He talks about the first season of The Punisher. Delhauer, it's very good. Glad to see you producing. Keep it coming, buddy. Give me once a month. And I'd love to see the concept of the show evolve. It's very good. Good job.
Cool.
That's about it. Ruggs, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come say hello.
Poke them over there. And listener, if you want to support the show, there's a couple of ways non-monetarily, really easy ways to do it. The next time you go shopping on Amazon, on your computer, do me a favor. Type this in first, jockandnerd.com/Amazon. We'll take you right to Amazon, and you'd be helping the show out. It's our affiliate link. If you're looking for geek gifts, type this in, jockandnerd.com/merchoid. That's our affiliate link, and they have awesome geek gifts for all the geeks in your life. And then the last easiest thing to help us grow, tell a friend. Suggest.
Spread the geekery.
Spread the geekery. Recommend the show to someone. And you know what? Get your shit together.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together.
Get them all together. Yeah. I've played every new clip that was vetted. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time, yo.
Get your hand off my penis!
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's a big fuck up right there.
Their bottom is very weak.
Jock and Nerd.
Yeah. Good morning. I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately. Who is your daddy? And what does he do? Who is your daddy? And what does he do? Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? I'm a cop, you idiot. I've got news for you. You like discipline. I've got news for you. You're mine now. I've got news for you. You like discipline. I've got news for you. You belong to me. I've got news for you. You like discipline. I've got news for you. You're mine now. I've got news for you. You like discipline. I've got news for you. Stop it. First, I would like to just get to know you. Who are you? How are you? What do you want? First, I would like to just get to know you. Who are you? How are you? What do you want? Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? I'm a cop, you idiot. Hello, cutie pie. Just do what I tell you. First, I would like to just fuck your mother. Let me fuck your mother, please. What's the matter? What? What the fuck did I do wrong? What I meant was, I would like to fuck you. Come on, let's do it. Yes, I would like to have a fuck, please, tonight. Whatever your name is, are you going to fuck me or not? Come on, baby. My mission is to fuck you. Now. So let's do it. Now. Baby, come on. I want to know what's going on, and I want to know right now. So don't give me that crap. You want to fuck me? I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your pussy, you idiot. Who is your daddy? Thomas Aquinas. And what does he do? I'm a cybernetic organism. Who is your daddy? Douglas Quaid. And what does he do? I'm a psychopathic bitch. Who is your daddy? Miles Bennett Dyson. And what does he do? I'm a choir boy. Who is your daddy? Me, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a healthy female of breeding age. So don't give me that crap, you idiot. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. And what does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. Stop it. What does he do? Hey, I'm a police officer. Who is your daddy? I'm Detective John Kimball. Shut up! Shut up!